Chickity chickity check. I think we are live. I had to change the title to today's live stream because you know what I forgot to do? Let me switch my mic source. Give me a second, guys. I'm loading up FL. And what I'm gonna do is plug my mic up here. That way. Check, check, check. Hold on. Check, check. All right. That way I can have. Dang, that whole time I was muted. Oh, I did that before. Freak. All right, well. I'm gonna have to edit all that out. Okay, so I'll say it again. All right, well, thank you for letting me know there's no sound. First of all, thank you. You should be able to hear me now. My bitrate is 0. Hold up, lower than what? Let me refresh. Make sure this live stream is streaming real quick. I know I'm not on mute still. Hold up. Check, check. Again. Wow, so 3 minutes of just silence, huh? Well, my fault. I forgot to switch something off in OBS. So today, what we're gonna do is a little bit different than the average. I had to retitle it, How to Grow Your Online Music Business with YouTube. Because I decided to help our brother. He wants to grow his brand. His name is Producing in the Box. And so I promised him I would hop on a call, but I had to cancel the call earlier because life got in the way. And so now I'm doing the call, but you guys get to kind of sit in and see what I do behind the scenes. That's basically what I was going to say. And if you don't know me, I'm Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. We train over 1 million producers around the world. So we're going to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, French Montana, Young Thug, Polo G, Lil Baby, Trippie Redd, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and a lot of other folks. All right, so that was my intro. The only thing you guys missed is me adding a compressor to my voice. That's the only thing I did. So you didn't miss anything. Boombox is here, Kiv is here, Zion is here, says, yo, this could work for me on an island in the Caribbean. Your mic, oh, thank you. Josh Dalton is here. So let's switch screens and then we'll get into the consult. And again, consider this like when people ask me, can they be my, if I could be their mentor or whatever, consider this what a mentor would do, is like let you see what they do day to day. So let's switch this. And let's go to tutorial. Here we go. All right, so if you come up with business questions along the way, I'm willing to answer. If you come up with questions about nothing that has to do with anything with business, I'm going to ignore the question, because today is not about snares and side chaining to your 808s. We already covered that in our other master classes for melody and drum patterns and everything. So I'm showing you guys the full picture so that you don't think music is just this make beats, end the day, make beats, end the day, make beats, do content, end the day. Like, music business is way bigger than what you guys are showing on YouTube. Specifically music business that we control, not even talking about streaming and all that. Seba is here. What up? Beats by Mo West is here. Did you say French Montana? Did I always say him twice, don't I? Okay, without further ado, let me make sure you guys can see, and then we're gonna get started. Hold up. Okay, so this is our guy producing in the box. I highly recommend you guys go subscribe to his YouTube. He made me pick up my guitar again, basically. Him and Austin Hall from Make Pop Music. So let's see his current. Our goal today is to figure out how he can grow, and then I'll figure out why he's not growing, and then we'll start to understand his brand. So the first thing I do when I do consults with brands is I figure out where's their weak spot. There's something called a SWOT analysis, SWOT, SWOT analysis, and it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is identify his strength. Now, for me, I am a consumer of his service, his product. So his strength to me is his knowledge of rock. Okay, and that is also his knowledge of guitar, tuning, all things rock, because rock is very different than hip hop in many different ways. So to me, you can see I've seen a couple of his videos recently. This one, what EQ actually does. 5 reasons why I switched from Logic to Studio One. Now, funny enough, the videos that I watch tend to be the ones that poke out of his channel. So that's interesting to know that the reason I watch this is because it made itself to the home page, most likely, because I don't go to people's page. Rarely do I look at notifications. So the only way I can see people's stuff is if it gets to the homepage of YouTube. And how does stuff get to the homepage of YouTube? We're going to break that down over time, because it's a concept you can't fully understand right away unless you understand the greater concept of the entire business structure. But his strengths are his knowledge of rock, guitar, and he also does really good thumbnails, in my opinion, and editing. All right. Do you think about type beat channels? We'll get to that. Right now I'm focusing on, the person I want to help, and then we'll get to all the other stuff. All right. So he said, can y'all see the party-ish? I'm spamming. The party-ish? What party-ish? What you talking about? All right, so if you want a master's degree in business, this is the live stream for you. If not, it's probably ain't the one for you. Okay, so going to his page, again, we're going to do the SWOT analysis. S stands for strengths, W stands for weaknesses, O stands for opportunity, and T stands for threats. Now, his weaknesses, here's what I'm hired to do, is figure out the holes in people's system. Once I figure out the holes, I figure out how to exploit the hole as if I were an enemy, and then what we do is reverse engineer to solve that hole. Okay, so I'm your paid enemy, basically. And we're also competing for the same types of audiences, so technically we are competitors in a way. Okay, so like I said, the videos that I see end up on the homepage. Why is that? Let's look at let's keep a piece of paper here. Here's some of the strongest weapons you guys have in business is a blank piece of white paper and a pen. That's all you need, a blank piece of paper and a pen. You don't need 1,000 books. You need a blank piece of paper and a pen, okay? And now we're gonna go through and start mapping this out. So we talked about his strengths. Let's talk about his weaknesses. And let's look at the patterns and commonalities as to why I, a consumer of his channel, tuned in. So firstly, the thumbnail here is similar to podcast thumbnails, where it has like the guest on the left or the right side, and then it has a quote from the guest. The only difference here is that the text is all the same color. Okay, so in this case, it made it to the homepage. It's a very clickable thumbnail. Now, the way videos get to the homepage is they have to surpass a certain click-through rate, similar to emails. So for example, if you guys send a ton of emails, I send thousands of emails every single month. And when you send out emails, it gives you a click-through rate. How many people open up an email for the amount that you sent? So for example, if I send 1,000 emails, if 200 people open up the email, that is 20% open rate. Okay, so if I send 1,000 emails and 200 people open them up, that's a 20% open rate. 20% is the standard depending on your list and depending on how segmented your list is. But let's just start at 20% as the standard, okay, for now. But it changes the bigger your audience gets and how segmented your audience is. But we're gonna use 20% as a standard. You didn't miss much. So again, this is a business live stream. I just want everybody to know this is not about mixing 808s. This is about the business side of stuff. If you want to be better at the business side of stuff, this is the video. And the way YouTube determines which videos get to the homepage is by their click-through rate first, then the watch time. There are metrics that YouTube will never give us. There's certain data that we can't see. Like for example, on the phone, Facebook is known to do this, Instagram, they can see where our eyes actually look on the phone. Even if we don't click something, they can see what we're actually looking at through the front camera of our phone. You thought the front camera was for selfies. The front camera was really a way for companies to get data about where your eyeballs go, quite literally. So researchers can take that data and use heat maps, they're called, to see where people are actually looking on the screen. Not necessarily clicking, but looking on the screen. Now, there's a lot of psychology that goes behind what I just said, and there's too much data and science to go through. So we're going to simplify it and say the stuff that gets to YouTube's homepage is usually above a 5% click-through rate. Okay, so the first thing people see is the thumbnail. They don't see the title. And if you guys want an example, I want you guys to go to your email right now, and I want you to go through your email and ask, this compressor kind of sounds weird. Hold on, let me see if I turn this off. Oh, I didn't even have my gate on the whole time. Whoops. All right, so this sounds fine to me, but I sound a little nasally in my head. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna sound nasally regardless. Go to your email right now in your email server, Gmail, whatever you guys use, Yahoo, whatever. Scroll down all your emails in your email, and then you'll realize very quickly, oh, I don't read the headline. I read who the sender is. I'm not reading the headlines. I'm reading who is the sender. That's the first priority when you go to your Gmail or your whatever email you guys use. You look at who sent the email, because what you're doing is subconsciously ranking the authority and the priority of whatever is next. So in email, the first thing people see is not the headline. That's the thing you guys are taught in marketing, that the first thing people see is the headline. That's not true. The first thing people see is the sender. And why is that important? Because we have to build authority. If we don't build authority, nobody has a reason or a trust or a propensity to open up that email. Okay? So the driving force to even open up the email, regardless of how curious people can get, is the sender first. Now, if you don't know the sender, then the headline becomes important. Okay, so if I have 100 emails, again, people have a lot of email nowadays. We sign up for a lot of free trials. So if you want to break out of the noise, it's not the headline. Firstly, we're looking at the sender column. Okay, I got a BusyWorks Beats email. I got a Cymatics email. I got a Do Sounds email. I got a Curtis King email. I got a, NaviD email, whoever. I got a Plugin Alliance email. I got a, Native Instruments email. Okay. Now, once you see all those names and then you see, okay, I got Geico email. I got an email from, I can't think of names of stuff. Then unimportant people. Our brain is going to filter out the senders first, and we're going to omit the stuff that does not matter from the sender, okay? Because that sender is associated to something else, usually negative or irrelevant. Then we move to the headline, okay? So I want to make that very clear, because on YouTube, the difference is the first thing people see is the thumbnail, not the title. We see the title, we see the thumbnail first. Okay, so just understand how people even begin to see your thing. Like, let's do this. Let's go to YouTube's homepage real quick. And here's an exercise you guys could do if you're trying to be better at YouTube. Is literally just go in, log in, and just scroll down. Let me let my computer kind of buffer. So I'm gonna scroll down about 10 times, and then we'll scroll back up and scroll back down. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we want to truly see which thumbnails capture our eye, but not only our eye, which ones actually make us click, which ones would I be clicking on. So let's scroll down moving really fast. Okay, so I see it. This X caught my eye. Something about an X in the red color caught my eye. So I stopped. Now, would I click on this? No, because it's not relevant. So what we're tapping into are our subconscious drivers to pull in our attention. Our brain has different centers that determine shape, contrast, light, brightness, importance. Is it a threat? Is it not a threat? All this is happening under the subconscious hood. So once we implement the subconscious things into our thumbnail, it gives us a greater chance of somebody clicking. Like I just stopped on that guy's thing about the plumber. I'm not going to click on it, but he had a better chance of me clicking it because he's using psychological things. And again, that psychological thing is a shape. In this case, the X shape. Okay, so let me zoom in. Hold on. And what is an X associated with, chat? If you guys could give me the courtesy to say, what is the X associated with? No, right? It's associated with negative avoidance. So the first thing we seek as humans is fear. What to avoid. We don't have time to figure out what to follow. If a tiger is running at you, your brain doesn't go, I wonder if he's a pet tiger, if he belongs to the zoo, if he's lost, if he's a friendly tiger. Your brain's not going to go through all these calculations to figure out the goodness in something. It's going to say, wow, that's a tiger. It looks like, the code in my DNA said that this was a threat. It's going to trigger all your brain synapses to then give you the action called run. It's a threat. So that's what the X represents in this case. This is just one of many symbols. Okay, but let's keep scrolling. I'm going to scroll even faster because our brain can consume, I forget the ratio, but it's a phenomenal ratio of visual content, way more than we can consume text. There's no way I can consume this much text scrolling this fast. It's impossible. But what I can consume is the picture, the colors, like at light speed. And I'm not even looking at the pictures. I'm just kind of scrolling with my side eye. Okay, so another thing that stopped me was the word exposed. For some reason, maybe because I just stopped there with the mouse. But let's do this one more time and then we'll get back to the next lesson here. So if I scroll, the things that are sticking out to me are shapes, X's, arrows. These are sticking out to me. This one here, I wouldn't click on it, but it's called Roland T8 Review. Now, for me, I subscribe to everybody who has a YouTube channel that does music content. So technically, I would click on his channel and I'm already subscribed. Okay, so I subscribe to literally everybody who does content in the music space, almost everybody that I know of. All right, so arrows, X's, shapes, things that point to stuff. I have a child and he has figured out already by the age of 1 what buttons do. He figured out like if something pops up on the screen and it has a circle around it, he'll try to press it. So he knows what buttons are. He knows what arrows are. He knows what X's are. And so these are the fundamental things. And so you'll notice that you got to test, of course. This person has to test. But the red arrow might not be the thing. Maybe a yellow arrow, maybe only red X's, because red means stop. Red means caution. So we're going to have to do a color overlay on your arrows. I would test that. Okay. And then look at the content underneath the arrow. So that's the first thing, is understanding the psychological triggers for a thumbnail on YouTube specifically. Nextly, if we were to break down his thumbnail strategy here, we see CLA hack for punchy mixes. So he's using what's called celebrity in this specific, that's the psychological trigger. There's a book by Robert Cialdini called Influence. And if you get the audiobook, it's even better. I didn't realize, I thought the book was simple because I listened to a summary, but then I went back to the real book. It's way much more in depth. So I would recommend you guys go listen to that audiobook. I think it might be on YouTube even. Because in that book, he sets up the psychological triggers as to why we do stuff. And our goal as a content creator is to tap into one of those triggers. Those triggers are celebrity. I'll give you guys a couple. Current events. Okay, what to avoid, or pain avoidance. This is called pain aversion. Okay, avoiding pain. We have pleasure, which is not as strong as pain avoidance. Pain avoidance supersedes pleasure by many, many factors. So that's pleasure. Then we also have urgency. And then another one I could think of off the top of my head is a common enemy. And so this is the whole Trump campaign right now, using common enemy. Trump is using that against the establishment, the deep state, he'll say, things like that. So, or he, his team or people around him will say, what up, Bobby? And shout out to everybody here. Again, what I'm doing is letting you guys see the behind the scenes of a real business consultation, basically. Okay, so that you can get skilled up for free. Because business, music online is way deeper than just uploading to YouTube. Okay, anyhow. So now that we understand what makes people click on a YouTube thumbnail, and now we understand why our content is actually working, we can then double down to test to see if it's a consistent result. And then we can test the underlying thing. First thing we want to test, thumbnails. Once we figure out which thumbnails work, then the next thing we test is the headline or the title of the video. Once we have the thumbnail and the title of the video figured out, then we work on the content. A lot of people try to change the content out over and over and over again, but they don't test the first two things that people see when they're coming across your YouTube. In scientific studies, we want to keep one constant. It's called a control. Let me pull back on this gate just a little bit. Keeps cutting my words off. All right, so we want to test one, it's called a constant, okay? And the reason we want to test this constant is because we want to see this, what is beating the control at something, okay? So let me pull this back a little bit. All right, so again, we pick a control, a constant, so that we can measure against it to figure out how far progressing we are with the other variations. So let's say my base level was a 5% click-through rate. I'm testing against the thumbnail that gave me 5%. Anything that gives me below 5% is not a winner, okay? So if I keep testing that first variable, the thumbnail, over and over and over again, then we can say, okay, I beat my thumbnail because it reached 5.5% click-through rate. Then I use the new thumbnail style or the new psychology behind it, or I create a marketing mix of those winners because people want variation over time. So we're not going to test the same video over and over again. We're getting into the meta, but this is the stuff people skip over, and that's why they're not where they want to be. Okay, so let's see what else I clicked on. So another one that was pretty good on this one, he did basically what we understand, these symbols. People might not understand the red bars here as audio, but the logos stand out a little bit better. So I'm glad he tested a similar approach, which is close up to objects before and after, okay? Or verses. In this case, he did verses. And he's pointing to the winner. Again, what do arrows do? They make us subconsciously look. Pointing. We're directing eyesight. That's what signs are for. Okay, so here we have, his video. This is 5 reasons why I switched from Logic to Studio One. And again, as a beginner, they want to avoid mistakes. So this is a combination. This is called a Lollapalooza effect. And I think, what was it? Who wrote that book, Lollapalooza? Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's business partner, wrote a book called Poor Charlie's Almanac. It's another good book. I haven't read the whole thing, but it's called Poor Charlie's Almanac. And I think the audiobook exists too. But there's a concept in his book called the Lollapalooza. It's when you combine multiple psychological triggers, the same way I talked about Robert Cialdini and celebrity and urgency and common enemy and all these different things. You can combine those psychological triggers into one product. So in this product, he's showing us avoid pain because he says 5 reasons why I switched from Logic, not 5 reasons why I chose Logic, 5 reasons why I switched, which is pain avoidance. So if I'm the person that's on Logic, I'm going, wait, what are 5 reasons why I should switch from Logic? There's something I can't see here. Excuse me, that's called pain. And we're trying to avoid it. We're trying to avoid mistakes. Johnny, what up? Okay, so the number 5 is very common when we're talking about lists or best of. That's another social media technique. Just lists of any sort. Top 5, top 10, 5 best ways, 3 ways to 3 tips to 7 ways to, it's the typical list. There's 10 commandments, right? Why do people know the 10 commandments? Because there's 10 of them. It's the 10 commandments, the 10 best rules out of our society. Okay, so that this is biblical. It goes all the way back that far. So far we have the before and after, which is a contrast. Then we have 5 reasons. So that's our list. Then we have pain avoidance in the titling, because he says 5 reasons why I switched, which is very key because that's called pain aversion. So that's 3 psychological triggers triggered subconsciously without anybody knowing. And that's why his views on this video are way higher than anything else that he's posted recently. So YouTube is a marketing game. And everybody wants to avoid the marketing side because maybe they just didn't study marketing. But marketing is just as creative as making beats. It's the same way we can take the Dr. Dre snare and the Dr. Dre kick, but we can make a J Dilla beat if we know how to mix. It's the same thing with marketing. You could take these components, rearrange them, and make something unique. Now, and I didn't finish the title because it cuts off. And it says why I'm not going back. Okay, so that really confirms the pain aversion there. Beat Juggernauts, what's up? Thank you for your dedication to years and hours of content for the producer community. What are realistic goals and markers in your first 90 days on YouTube? Aries gang, shout out to Aries. First, I'm gonna come back to that because I want to focus on producing in the box, but I'll take that question in a second. My lights went out. Hold on. All right, my lights. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to come back to that. So you said first 90 days on YouTube, what are your goals and markers? So we're going to get into that. You're going to learn through me talking to producing in the box. Okay, so I'm going to give you some stuff to take away. Just remind me. Excuse me, y'all. I ate, so it's like trying to gain air back. Okay, so anyway, if I go to his top videos, I guarantee he's using some or all of these techniques. And here we go. His top video has an arrow. Okay, it says Beginner's Guide to Mixing Vocals in Studio One. Okay, so Studio One seems to be his base here. Now, the problem with focusing on a one DAW, and this might be his bottleneck here, it's because something called the total addressable market. So if our market is only Studio One folks, I'm going to show you guys something here. There's a service called Keywords Everywhere. Okay, so you know what? All I have to do is just Google stuff. So let's Google the term Studio One. And let's see how many searches Studio One gets a month. So for what I'm trying to say is producing in the box can be the greatest in the world, but there's only X amount of, I don't know why it's not showing in my search anymore. It's just new. I don't know why it's not showing that graph. It's weird. It used to be a graph right here that would automatically show. It just did it on the last word we were on. See, it does it here, but not the next thing. That's kind of weird. So anyhow, we're just going to click on it and see. Why did it send me this? No. It doesn't even have data, I don't think. Okay, so let's go to Keywords Everywhere. Let's just do it this way. How do we do this search? Keywords Everywhere. I just did it yesterday and I already forgot how to get there. Give me a second, y'all. Bulk keywords, organic ranking keywords. All right, so keywords. Okay, so we're gonna search Studio One. Now this is a paid service and I pay, I think, $4.99 a month for it, but it's worth it. And top 1,000 keywords. I'm gonna figure out how to get on this. I think I have to do it through YouTube. Give me a second, y'all.
Your vocals are the first thing.
Hold up. Okay, so Studio One, here are the keywords. Now, usually on this, it will show the cost per click. It must be so low that it's not showing me. This is the first. Never seen it not show me data before. Okay, so search volume per month. Studio One, 110,000 viewers per month. Search up Studio One. Now, if I type in FL Studio, let's see how much search volume we get. We get 1 million views per month. So by default, if the only keyword I'm going to focus on is Studio One, I'm 10 times behind FL Studio. It doesn't matter if I have the greatest video, I serve my audience. It doesn't matter because I'm capping my audience at Studio One. So most of the time that I've found when it comes to content creation and music production content is we put ourselves in a box by accident. Like when I was known as the FL Studio guy, that was cool in the beginning, but you don't want to be the FL Studio guy because it locks you into only FL Studio traffic. That's why I'm doing this live stream right now, because do I want to be known as only talking about FL Studio shortcuts? No, that doesn't even remotely interest me. So that's what I can tell just from the jump. All your top videos seem to be about Studio One. And we just did the data, which showed that Studio One caps out at 110 views per month, 110,000, and FL Studio has 1 million. And so you're always going to be hitting a ceiling, and it's beyond you. It actually has to do with the total addressable market. Now, you've probably heard online where people say riches are in the niches and niche down and talk to less people but charge them more money. This market is the same market. It's just they use a different tool. So for example, the audience that we have using Studio One might not spend $5,000 for a course just because they're lower numbers. They might just spend $500 for a course, but they still have lower numbers. So it doesn't justify niching down, because the point of niching down, for example, I could either sell 1,000 people a $10 thing, which would give me $10,000, or I could sell 20 people a $1,000 thing. Okay, so let's do that math real quick. I could sell 10,000 people. What'd I say? I forgot the numbers that fast. I could sell 1,000 people on a $10 thing, which would equal $10,000. Now, this is most people's approach with everything online, whether it's courses, music production, beat production, whatever the thing is, they sell low prices because they're trying to go mass. Where we make the mistake is we go niche, thinking that if we go niche, we're magically going to make more money. That's not true. Going niche without the price change will give us the same results, just less. So what I'm saying is we could sell 1,000 people at $10 each. That's $10,000. Or I could sell 20 people at $1,000. That's double the profit. And I don't even know the percentage of, 1,000 to 20, what the difference would be down. So it's significantly less people, 20 people, and then selling them at $1,000 per, that's $20,000 right there. And that's double the profit than selling 1,000 people a $10 thing. So when we're taught riches are in the niches, they're talking about charging more money to a smaller enterprise group of folks, usually business owners, usually, it's business stuff who would spend that much money, because who else has that much money? Corporations and businesses have that much money. But consumers don't necessarily have 10x times to spend on whatever the thing is. And so what I'm saying to you is, if all these things are true, me niching down to only Studio One that has 100,000 views a month, even if I have 90% of the market, that's only 90,000 views a month. So let's go to our other channel here. So I guess my immediate advice right now is to expand the DAW, expand the traffic source, because right now the traffic source, even though we're getting 40,000 views a month, that's 50% of the Studio One traffic. So you could be dominating the Studio One market, but we're dominating the market, and then our price didn't double, it didn't triple. So that market might not be the market to dominate. I'd rather want 50% of a $500 million search, 500 million searches a month market. Like if we look up ChatGPT, for example. Now I'm being broad so that I can expand people's awareness here. ChatGPT has 226 million searches a month, compared to 100,000 searches from Studio One. ChatGPT has 226 million searches a month. So even if I get 1% of that growth, or 1% of that market, that's what, 2.6 million views a month. And I don't have to own 50% of the market. I can own 1% and still be, what was it? I don't even know the magnitude difference. I could be, 50 times more by owning 1%, which is 50 times less. And this is the fundamental thing that people have to focus on when it comes to online business and online traffic and online anything, even talking about streaming. Everybody wants to talk about how to get more Spotify streams. They don't ask, where does traffic come from? Spotify people don't just magically pop up and just log into Spotify. It's not how the internet works, okay? So when you get advice, even talking to people who are watching this, if you guys hear advice about how to get more streams and they're only talking about Spotify and the playlist and the artist spot, that is the most kiddie pool of kiddie pools of traffic. That's not even how the internet works. Because ask yourself this question: how many people go to your Instagram from Spotify? Why is it that I'm always sending people to my Spotify? It's never the other way around. Why do I never hear people say, hey, go to my Spotify and then I'll send you to my Instagram? It's never the other way around, because that's not where traffic starts. Traffic starts everywhere else. They end at Spotify in most cases. Okay, so what I'm trying to like really illustrate is be a smaller fish in a bigger pool. Okay, not the big fish in a tiny pool, because it doesn't matter how good you are of being a fish, the pool will never expand. And we're like, I need more food. How do I expand? And the problem is the pool's small. But it's not that we need to change businesses completely. It's just that we have to adapt more keywords to slowly expand that total addressable market. Because again, we can make the Curtis King mistake, for example. If you guys go to youtube.com/Curtis King. Now, for those who don't know Curtis King, what is it? Curtis King TV, maybe? Now, his greatest mistake, in my opinion, this is all BusyWorks Beats opinion. Now, let me show you guys something. Let's pull up his stats real quick. So we used to be business partners. I had to, disassociate myself from Curtis King activities. Okay, so Curtis King currently gets 1.1 million views. Estimated revenue somewhere around 8K minus about a K or two, because this is kind of rough. Let's just say this month 6K. Subscribers 8K, and then again 1 million views. Now this is mostly long form. He doesn't have any shorts. So his weakness is he doesn't use shorts on YouTube. That's the biggest flaw. Because last time I checked, he was at 235,000 subscribers. He's only at 288,000, and this is like 2 years later. The reason he's stuck at that many subscribers is because, one, they're not focusing on a problem. They're focusing on trends, and this is why the grid is so spiky. Okay, let me show you guys what growth should look like. Now, I was blessed to have, great mentors. So let me show you guys. Let's zoom out a little bit. Also, let me be fair and zoom out a little bit. Let's do maybe the year chart. Okay. So growth and consistency looks like this. Now I can explain the May through July because I was working on my plugin, so I didn't post at all. So from March to about, actually really the beginning of the year till about this month, I wasn't really posting like that. So there's a big cavity here, okay, because of my efforts. So I can visually see where I dropped my effort, and it showed. But you guys can see on a real chart, I think a better chart might be the maximum chart, actually, now I'm thinking about it. So here's CK's chart. It goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up. Now this could be also removal of views. Okay, so that's an accounting for those dips. But it's this kind of up, slow slope, fast slope, slow slope. Okay, it goes up and down and up and down. This only goes back to what, 2021. So for 3 years consecutively, BusyWorks Beats has just been growing and growing and growing consistently. And if you look at the actual growth, you'll see it goes more of a J curve type shape, and then it moves into a convex curvature, which is accelerated growth. And then it goes to more concave and then convex again, which I have seasons of hyper growth. Okay. But it's all consistent. There's a line going straight up. These other folks, and if I look at their charts, it's usually this like hockey stick growth, or it's going to be a J curve of some sort. And this could also be missing data from this website. So I can't rely on everything about this website. This is a new website. All I'm trying to tell you guys is this person can have, I'm using Curtis King because he switched content dramatically. So this person went from, making FL Studio stuff and music production help and doing live streams for music producers and artists to doing what I consider gossip content. Okay, like Spotify CEO just made a huge mistake putting them in devil horns. To me, that's gossip. Using those tools that we talked about, pain avoidance, pain aversion, for evil purposes. Okay, to demonize Spotify that's paying the artist. When in fact, Curtis King was the person who led people to, what is it called? DistroKid, to then go to iTunes and stream on Spotify. He did a whole campaign around that, remember? And then he flipped. And then he went the other way, and then now he's demonizing it. So that's when we use these techniques negatively. So these tools, when I talked about celebrity and urgency and pain avoidance, this can all be used to manipulate people in the opposite direction. And that's the malpractice of these tools. Okay. Now this person, may get more views per video, but what happened on the back end? The business suffered because they switched businesses completely. Now they're in the hip hop gossip business. Okay. Which is a whole different business. So when we're comparing ourselves, producing in the box, we have to understand that the niche that we're in is different than the niche that other folks are in. And sometimes going mass and going broad to gain more audience does not equate to dollars at the end of the day. It might equate to more YouTube dollars, but it does not equate to business dollars. Like, for example, if I say, let's go all the way back. Let's say the last 3 months, let's do 30 days and make it simple. Let's say the last 3 months, this brand got 8K. Let's just max it out and say they got 8K, but they got $0 in courses, sound sales, live events, webinars, public speaking. They're sacrificing the real revenue for the front end revenue, which is just how to keep attention and pass it around. Now, YouTube is a great machine in that we can leverage YouTube to then build an audience, but there is a trade going on. And so I want people to understand there's a difference between attention getting and business building. Yes, we can use attention to build part of our business, but it's not the business. And I'm trying to define for you guys, what is attention getting? In this case, Curtis King's channel gets a lot of attention, but where's the revenue coming from in the back end business? Okay, it's not courses. I think he runs a live stream that he sells people song feedbacks, which he used to do it to where people win a lottery. It was a lottery. You pay in to potentially win a pot of money. It's called a lottery. So he's selling lottery tickets. Tried to sell y'all lottery tickets on how to get in the industry. He tried to sell you lottery tickets on how to be independent. Go ask this person for their revenue for independent artistry. Go ask this person revenue for their courses. Where's the money come from? It's only YouTube and paying for song feedback that this person's revenue comes from. Okay, for the most part. So for producing in the box, for example, his business model is all about upselling to something else. So the YouTube video is not to be everything all in one. It's to get people's attention to move to the next step. But we want to get enough attention in the beginning so that the averages work out. So that's what I mean by going bigger to make the pool bigger. But as long as our conversion rates are still the same, we can push people to the next step. Now, most people, they go mass because they need all of those people, because the only step that they're worried about is converting people to watch the video. They're not converting people on the back end to anything. So we have a different business is what I'm saying, producing in the box. So we went over strengths, we went over weaknesses. I think another weakness, let's point out the weaknesses here. So let's go to his website, let's go to his Instagram, and let's go to this free workshop. So currently I can see the subscribers are pretty low. If we use CK as an example, his subscribers are still not growing. It's because he's not converting people who care about anything but to click on the video. There's no reason to follow this person unless they truly love gossip. That's why you'll see this person's subscribers not growing near where the views are growing. So if we go back a year, for example, subscribers go down, then it goes up, and it's going down. Now, you could say that correlates with the views. Like I said, it's a similar shape. Actually, this is very correlated. Let's stay corrected on that. But the subscribers are not growing. So here's the subscriber growth versus the views. Something isn't working. Okay, so now it's because in the beginning of when he converted over to, doing gossip videos, his old audience was like, what is this? There was resistance. Okay. And we could probably point out where the resistance occurred. This chart only goes up to a year, so it's hard to really see the entire picture here. Let's see. This goes back to 2021. That's not long enough. I want to say he did convert after a while. So right here, it seems like the resistance point. I don't remember when he started posting gossip content, but the resistance, this stagnation line, was the confusion. This is the part where we have to learn as entrepreneurs to change something. His subscribers were at the same amount for, let's see, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. That's a half a year with zero growth. 6 months with zero growth. Okay. It's because this person wasn't serving the audience. They weren't solving problems. They weren't getting people to click. And ultimately the value wasn't there because there was no point for somebody to subscribe because there was no journey to go on. So this is what I'm showing you guys is the difference between education businesses on YouTube versus people who need you to click because that is the business. Okay. And then you see the growth after the gossip stuff because that's a whole different channel in my opinion. That's not the same channel. So from this point on, you know, we have 236 going up to 288. So that's the real subscribers for the channel, is I'd say 50,000 or so. So 200 and something thousand, that's not really true. It's really 50,000 or so. But the same thing applies for producing in the box. So not even Curtis King, he was just an example. Is if we go over here, I need to know what dramatically happened in June of 2023 to where magically you got all these subscribers every month. I need to know what happened. It's probably shorts, okay? And so what we don't measure is the distinction between short traffic versus long form traffic. And then what is that conversion pathway? If I go to your website, you know, I can't show you guys mobile because it's impossible to show you the mobile view here. But if I go to YouTube and I go to shorts, when you're in shorts and you swipe up, it goes to somebody random and it's random. There's no go to his channel, go to his shorts, swipe through his shorts, only see his shorts. Actually, I might be wrong about that. Let me double check. Let me go to his thing on my YouTube real quick. I only did this with my own site, so I don't know if that's true. So before I say that that's true, let me do it on his site. So I'm on his page. I'm going to his shorts. Okay, so I wasn't incorrect about that. But the way people normally view a short is from the home page, and then the home page sends them through a rabbit hole of shorts, which aren't ours. And so people can subscribe really quickly, but they're not going back to check your column of shorts. Okay. But anyhow, let's go through his next steps. So I said a lot, and what I'm trying to break down for the average folks at home is that yes, we need to niche down who we're talking to, but we also need to notice the difference between mass market and a sub market. The problem is most people are trying to niche down within a sub market. We need to be niching down from the mass market. I'm using Curtis King because he's the only example of somebody that switched to where you guys can compare yourself. So Curtis King's difference is that he went mass market, which is not a sub market. He went mass market gossip, negativity. Okay, that's mass market stuff, not sub market. Sub market would be music producers, FL Studio, Studio One, Ableton Live, MPC. That's a sub market. Now, mass market is Drake, Kendrick versus Drake, music, video. That's mass market. But the difference is the mass market has no intent to go deeper down the funnels that we call it. They have no intent to go deeper down the funnel. So the only conversion that we're truly making in the mass market is to get people to latch on for the view, and then that's it. That's why there's no loyalty. So you got to be really careful building a business that way, because once attention dissipates, there goes your whole business. Okay, so anyhow, let's move to producing in the box. I'm clicking on his links. So let's say I watched the YouTube video. He said, click the link in the video description. I click that link. Now what's next? What I would like to see on his website is his picture. So we went from seeing his picture in almost every thumbnail to now when I get to his website, I don't see his picture anywhere. So I'm like, does he own the website? Does he have business partners? Who runs the website? Now I got to click about because I'm not sure if this is even his website. And here's his picture. So I want to see this face on the homepage because this is going to correlate to what I see on YouTube. I need to make the environment mirror where I came from. So if I'm starting on YouTube and I end up on your website, it needs to look similar, because if it has a jarring contrast, I'm going to now have to re-question, is this a threat or is this a friend? And again, it goes back to these subconscious things. So his headline says, want to learn how to get pro sounding vocals with gear and wait, what? Want to learn how to get pro sounding vocals with the gear and room you already have. So this is a curiosity question, but the problem is this truly the thing that drives people to want to know this knowledge? And then he says, free guide, learn the 3 secrets to getting radio ready vocals without buying more gear or going to a professional studio. What I would do for the headline is try different concepts. Not that this headline is so important to anything, because this is after people watch your YouTube. So this is way down the line of stuff. But ultimately, we want to make it, how do I explain this, y'all? We want to have the least amount of steps from point A to point B. So if my goal is to get somebody into my course, I want the friction to be this low. If I have 10 steps in between getting to the course, then I'm already working backwards, because I have to convince people to go through the next hoop, and the next hoop, and the next hoop. And it's too much convincing, and that's where we lose people along the pathway. So if I were to, what's up everybody who's here? Again, if you just hopped in and you have no idea what I'm talking about, what I'm doing is giving, Producing in the Box is another YouTuber, and I'm giving him a consult, but I forgot to do it. I couldn't make it earlier for many different reasons. And now I'm doing it, and I just want to let you guys see the behind the scenes of what I do behind the scenes to help folks. Okay, so it's way deeper than music production. So if we go to youtube.com, so anyway, you can look him up, Producing in the Box. So I go on his website here, no picture of him anywhere. So I'm already questioning, should I trust the source? But it says free guide. Now I wish this was a little bit stronger. Want to learn how to get pro sounding vocals with the gear and room you already have. To me, this doesn't make me feel anything. It's just a question. So I'm like, do I want to get room vocal? Okay, so I might say, instead of this, stuff, I would just say it like free vocal mixing course, or free, what does it say? Guide. I don't know what guide means. This is a video guide. I'm not sure what you're offering exactly. Okay, but like free something to get your stuff radio ready. That would catch my eye. Not reading a whole question. It's not driving me to do anything. So a lot of text and no video. Another flaw about the website is we went from a video platform to a platform that has no pictures of you and no video of you. So that's the complete opposite of what you showed me on YouTube. So you see how we're creating opposite worlds here, and this is why people don't convert. Okay, to the next step. So let's say I click on I want a free web workshop, and then it's another page that looks the same. Would you like to know how to get, you just asked me this question. So here we're seeing the same question twice, and I'm like, I already said yes, I do want to know. Without analog expensive mics. Okay, so I would show way more pictures of you and the actual thing that you're telling me about. So for example, if you're promising me a masterclass about radio ready vocals, why can't I see somebody holding a microphone, showing a session or whatever the thing is that you guys want to show, and then I need to see you doing the microphone thing there. That will be way better than this headline, because the headline is just asking a question on top of a question. Now, in my normal process, what I would do is I sign up to their email. I see their back-end workflow. Actually, let's do it here. Let me switch cams real quick. So I'm going to sign up with a test email here. Hopefully you don't get charged for this email. Actually, let's do this one. All right, so I'm signing up to his email list right now. It says, hey, I want a free thing. Okay, so let's see the next step after this. All right, so the next step, even though I signed up, it takes me to another page. Okay, with a VSL. This is called a video sales letter. It says, learn the secret to perfect sounding vocals without analog gear. You said this 17 times. Okay, this is annoying me now. As a consumer, this is annoying me because we get it. We just want to start. Okay, how to get perfect vocals. Now, I'm not going to play your entire video. I just want to see.
Hey, friend, I'm glad you're here. If you're looking to get great...
What's the biggest mistake we see so far? He's not in the video. So we have to understand that conversion rates are all about trust. The invisible thing that transforms, a YouTube thumbnail from clickable to non-clickable is how much do I trust that this thumbnail will deliver on what it actually says. Like when you see Mr. Beast in the video smiling and a train's going off the rails and there's like a big hole, you believe him that he's going to do that challenge because he spends $1 million on a video. So even though it's bizarre, you believe him because you'll know he's a crazy person to do that type of experiment. Now, if I go to producing in the box page, these thumbnails represent what's called a click-through rate. And the click-through rate has to we're building trust, is my point. People trust CLA Vocal, trust Chris Lord-Alge for his, that's what celebrity means. It's just a person who we bestow authority. Okay, what is authority? I'm sure if you dig the etymology of authority, it says trust somewhere in there. Actually, let's do it right here. Authority, etymology. It says auctorite, authoritative passage or statement, book or quotation that settles an argument, passage from scripture. Okay, so more of a judge status. Then it says authority, prestige, the right, permission, dignity, gravity, invention, advice, opinion, influence, command. Okay, it usually was spelled blah, blah, blah. Legal validity. It is attested from C1300 in the general sense of legal validity, also authoritative doctrine. Authority. Author, whose statements are regarded as correct. It's all about trust. Okay, right to rule or command, power to enforce obedience, power or right to command or act. Power derived from good reputation, trust. Power to convince people, capacity for inspiring trust. So authority is trust. What is trust? Believing that what's in the thumbnail is what I'm going to see. So flip that. Now when I go to your website, I'm not seeing what you're promising me that you're going to show me, which is how to get perfect mixes at home. I'm seeing a podcast image. So I need to see you, a microphone, and hopefully a home environment of some sort for me to believe this message. And that's why you're not seeing conversion rates, I would assume, because of we're not adding the trust elements. So here's some trust elements we need to add to this homepage. Firstly, your picture. Okay. Show the promise. Instead of telling people what they need to, whatever, show them the promise and then point them to the free workshop. Show them with a picture. Then we want to add, these are, now when you say worked with, you need to show in what capacity. Were they sponsors? Did you work there as an employee? This is called social proof when you have other companies or other people vouching for you. Or even if they don't vouch for you, it's to say that, hey, I've worked with DistroKid. You know, they're a trusted brand. What are you doing with these? Leveraging their trust onto your page. So, but the problem is these don't work unless the first things work. The same way the headline doesn't work unless the thumbnail works. These are secondary, tertiary in line. So that is the issue with your landing page, is that it doesn't have enough trust bonding elements. Also, I would like to see way more testimonials from your students on your page. In fact, a way you can build testimonials is give people your course for free in exchange for a testimonial. If they don't give a testimonial, whatever, you didn't lose anything because they wouldn't have known about the course anyway. So that's the biggest error I see with your landing page. And then there's a lot of wasted space. Like all this space can be deleted. This means nothing to me. As I'm scrolling, recording, producing, mixing, master, that means nothing. It's just words. This can be deleted. All this white space wasted. Okay, there's another thing called below the fold when it comes to online marketing. So when you want to try this let me see if it does it automatically. Hold up. So if I make the screen small like this is more of a mobile view. Okay. And what we want to focus on is what's called above the fold. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat real quick. Oh, wait. Hold on. All right, check. We want to focus on what's called above the fold. So above the fold content is before we scroll, what can people see? And does it add to our ultimate decision for them to make? So we did simplify this one step to take, but the problem is this is not convincing. Okay. So that's good that all the call to actions and the social proof is above the fold. Only thing I would say is, get rid of this section here. This is not important. it just doesn't say anything. I'm skimming, and it, even with me skimming, I'm not reading the actual sentence. So it just says recording, producing, mixing, mastering. I'm not reading this part. And we have to go through this process because we have to realize that people don't consume everything that we put out. You know, I could put out 5,000 videos. You guys in the chat have not watched 5,000 of my videos. I just have to say it's part of the game. You didn't watch everything that I put out. The same way I can make a whole website, you're not going to read the entire website. Okay. So that's what I'm getting at here. All right. So, you know, I could pick apart the rest of the page, but chances are most people aren't even going that far on this page. So now that we understand like the flaws, let's go back to his VSL.
Hey friend, I'm glad you're here. If you're looking to
Okay, one thing I hate as a marketer is the hey friend. I know Graham Cochran probably uses it. Shout out to Graham Cochran. He's the one I remember specifically. Hey friend, you know, this is recording revolution and whatever. That's cool. You know, he's a church kind of person. So, and I believe it from him because he's like a Southern character with that church vibe. So he might naturally just say, hey friend. Like that might be his language. In real life, when's the last time you talked to somebody and said, hey friend? I haven't. Has anybody in the chat said, hey friend to somebody that they were talking to? I will get a real poll from people in the chat. Okay, so I'll say, hey, what's up, man? Or hey, buddy, something like that. I won't say, hey friend, but I won't say, yo. Now there are marketing, you know, there's marketing that takes it the opposite way, which is like, yo, like you've seen Producer Grind use it, Cymatics use it. They'll just be like, yo. One thing I hate is when I get a text that just says, yo, I'm like, tell me what you want or don't text me. Just get it out in the first five words. What do you want? Don't say yo. And then I got to hit you back. Oh, what's up? And then you got to like, that is so tacky. What I'm saying here though, is that the hey friend is kind of, in my opinion, not for everybody.
get great sounding vocals with the gear and room that you already have, then you are in the right place.
Also, the vocals are pretty low. So I hear myself louder than I hear your vocals, and you're telling me how to get perfect mixes at home. There's already a disconnect right there.
My goal is I'm going to show you how you can get professional sounding vocals every single time.
And then I hear plosive. So these little things, not that it's going to distract somebody. I'm just trying to show you that it's all these little tiny things that make people not believe us. And then that's why they tune out and don't click the next thing.
Even if you don't.
Again, you know, we hate boring presentations. I want to see your face. I want to see your mouth moving. Pause. Like, I don't want to read this.
Have acoustic treatment, expensive mics. Or
First thing I'm going to do is
gear.
put the speed on
By
2x.
the end of this masterclass, you will have a system to get pro sounding vocals every single time you press record, all from the comfort of your own studio. In the next 45 minutes,
You know what I'm going to do?
how
Because
work
I'm
with sounding
so
vocals
already
and
bored
video
is
vocals
scroll
with
around the
how
page
to
and
make
look
a nice
around.
vocal using
There's nowhere to
Pro
scroll. So now I'm back on here.
Vocal mix. And
I'm
how to
gonna-
mix your vocals into a beat or a song to make it soundless.
I'm going to click book free just to see what it is, but I'm not going to book anything. Calendly, let's see what this is. So we can book a call on Calendly. Let's see let's see. Okay, so I can't do it on weekends when I'm actually off work. I have to do it during the week when I'm at work. I'm saying this metaphorically, not literally. And let's say, okay, it's Monday. Okay, I have from 3 till 6:30. Well, I don't get off work till 7. So this is why we're not converting. It's because we think people are living our lifestyle. They're not. Okay, so most people are free on the weekends. Would you guys agree in the chat? People who have, you know, careers and jobs and all that, they're not free. And if they are free, they're going to spend the time that they are free on something they want to do, not on a call. They're going to spend it with the family or with playing video games. You know, we're competing against their life. So this is where we lost the consumer. So hopefully Producing in the Box is starting to understand that where he lost me, he does a perfect job on the front end, but for some reason he's not consistent with the next step. So the next step would be show me your thumbnails and your cool pop-up thumbnails on the next page and be cool on the next page. It's just like this flat, non-human page. And then a question that I'm not going to answer, and then another question, and then all this text. So that's why we're not converting. On top of the fact that the keyword we're going after, Studio One, only has 100,000 potential views a month, whereas FL Studio has 1 million. So you literally have to be 100% of the market to even get 1/10 of the market of FL Studio. So see what I'm saying here? And that's why we're running into walls, is because it starts with the faucet. If the faucet is doing driplets of water, It doesn't matter what kind of cup I hold out. It's going to take forever to fill that cup. But if the faucet is like, and it's pouring out at light speed, I could have a shot glass. I could have a wine glass. I could have a beer mug. I could have, you know, an orange juice glass. It's all going to fill up quickly because the faucet is going so fast. I don't need to like wait for the drip drops to fill up the glass. Okay. So anyhow, that is the weakness of this business model, is we're not getting email leads because the trust on step 2 does not match the trust on step 1. That's why we're not getting emails. And let me go to your video here. Let me see. Now I know his content.
With 5 Grammy Awards, Alyssa.
Now the thing is, his content is dope. So he made the mistake that I used to make, which is if I just make better content, everything else will just solve itself. But I can make the best content be 100% of a small pool and only convert those people over to the next step. And then we lose people on the next step because that's not optimized. And most entrepreneurs are great at starting stuff. They're not good at optimizing the systems of stuff. Okay, so let's see what link is in his description. Where does he want people to go? Watch a full session breakdown and get free stems. Okay, so let's click on this link. Let's see if it takes us to his website. Okay, so now this page is better, but it's still not, it doesn't show you. I want to see you somewhere in here. Your head, your face. Where are you? Now, even on my pages, I got to be careful because even on some of my best sales, my best opt-in pages, I don't use a picture of me, but I do use a picture of FL Studio. So let's go to Busy. It's because that's something that people already trust. So if they go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio, here's my opt-in page. Very simple. Master FL Studio like a pro. Sign up. It's not. Now this opt-in page looks way better than the other one. But this one says, get a behind the scenes look at a real session. Get the stems and copy my techniques. 1, I just met you on a YouTube video, so I don't know your techniques. 2 is, why would I want to get a behind the scenes look at a real session? That's not the thing drawing me in. The thing drawing me in is I want to go on tour as an artist, for example, or they may want to mix for the top artists in the world, or they want to get in studio sessions. That's what they're trying to do. So here I'm saying, what is the end goal for somebody? In this case, they want to master FL Studio like a pro. Who are the pros? Metro Boomin, Murder Beats, Ninth Wonder. Who else uses FL? I'm trying to think. Sunny Digital. Okay, Lex Luger, Southside. That's what people want to be. And I said, master FL Studio like a pro. I get to their desired outcome. This is the promise here. Okay, I get straight to the outcome in the promise. Master FL Studio like a pro. This one's saying, hey, you can get a behind the scenes look at a real session, but that's not my end goal. So we need to change this language to say, learn how to mix like Chris Lord Algae, or it needs to be the end goal that they're trying to actually accomplish. I don't know what your audience wants specifically, but you need to change the language to say, to talk to the outcome and not the thing that they're getting. This is the thing that they're getting to get to the outcome, but it's not the outcome. So that's why you're not getting conversions as high as you probably like. And then we have 2 students here. I would like this updated. Even if the comments are small, we need to have this look like there's at least 20 people in the program, not 2. Okay, so I'm going to sign up for this one too. Let's just see where it takes us. So now some people have what's called a one-time offer, which is what we saw before in the other email when we signed up with that VSL. It's called a one-time offer, upsell. Now here I'm going to sign up and let's see if he has a page afterwards. Okay, so he did the same formula, which is introduce me to a page after. Now he's doing the techniques that bothered me the first time. Okay, we see a picture of him, even though it's small. I'm like, okay, it's a human. I don't know if y'all can see that on your screen. My head might be blocking the way, but I see him. That's the guy I remember from YouTube on the screen. Okay, now we're getting closer to where we're trying to be. This title is not very enticing. Full rock session breakdown. Again, we want to lead with the promise. You know, if I say, you know, I forgot what your call to action was. Watch a full session breakdown. Okay, so let's say I have a video that says, you know, let's replace this with a different word. You know, The Rock, you know, Dwayne Rock Johnson's hack for 6-pack abs. Okay, let's say that's the title for the video. Then in my call to action, I want to say, you know, free Dwayne Johnson's free guide or free video or something like that. Dwayne Johnson's free guide on how to get six-pack abs. I'm consistently talking to the promise during every step. Then I click on the link, sixpackabs.com. And then I go to this, what they call an opt-in page. Now, okay, now the first thing I want to see is the result. Now we're going to skip ahead and just kind of focus on this page, but this should say secret formula to get six-pack abs. You know, Dwayne Johnson reveals secret formula to get six-pack abs. That would be the promise. We're starting with the promise. Step 2 is the promise. Step 3 is the promise. We're always leading people towards their desired outcome. So right now, we're not worried about the thing. If I were to translate using that six-pack ab, analogy, this title might say, floor sit-ups breakdown. Like, that's not what makes me excited about looking like The Rock. I want to look like The Rock. I don't care about the floor exercise. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not the thing that we're focusing on. It's the outcome. So our language needs to move from the thing to the outcome. Hopefully I'm making sense to somebody around the world. Now let's see what this video and how it starts off.
Hey friend, I'm glad you're here. I think
again with the friend. I'm not believing the friend thing because again, we just met on YouTube. I don't believe you say friend every day. I just don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. Okay, so that's where people are getting stuck. And also where people are getting stuck is they have too many steps. Like the testimonials right here. Why do we have testimonials next to a VSL? You know, the VSL should be to get us to the next step. This is like a mini sales page. And I'm going, why is he pushing book the call for free? If I just got a free session, what am I booking a call for? It's too much right now. It's just too many offers. Because what we can do by accident is actually make people click the next step without consuming step number 2. So I want people to consume this. I don't want people to go to the call, because then if they go to the call and then they see the time's not here, they might X out and X out everything. So it's little things like this. Again, we need to make it so that the weekend is available, or, you know, people aren't going to be hopping on calls midday at work. They're not.
Friend, I'm glad you're here. I think you're going to learn a ton through this session breakdown. I'm going to break down an entire session in front of your eyes. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be able to give you these stems as well, so that we can drag them into your DAW and you can see, hey friend,
let's listen to his language. Not that everybody has to have a script. I just want to hear his language. Hey friend,
I'm glad you're here. I think you're going to learn a ton through the session breakdown.
Okay, I think you're going to learn a ton through the session breakdown. I want to know, what am I getting by watching this?
I'm going to break down an entire session in front of your eyes. And at the end of this video, I'm going to
session of what?
Be able to give you these stems as well, so that we can drag them into your DAW and you can see exactly what I'm doing, and you can play around with those for yourself. Now, those are only for people who actually stay into the end of this video. So if you're an action taker and you really want to learn, those are for you. Now let's get into the session.
Okay, but he doesn't say, like, what am I doing this for though? Okay, let's skip ahead real quick.
Is also being layered with the drums. Here, this presentation today, I was faced with one of two choices. The first option was part.
So I'm not gonna, give away his sales letter here, but we're gonna skip to the end. And his ending of this video is he goes backwards, which is the marketer text on screen. We got to realize that the text on screen guys, they don't have anything to show. Like, if I want to teach you marketing, there's nothing to show you except for maybe some software that I might use, or like a book or something. There's nothing to visually show you. So they make these presentations to look cool. As music producers, we have DAWs to show, sound files, presets, plugins. There's a bunch of stuff to look at. So if you take me backwards and start making it all about text on a screen, I'm like, we went from fun to boring.
I got for you next.
So let me break down his call to action here. It's called. So the call to action is like, what do we do next? So let me go a little bit slower. Hold up. And again, we're at the step where we're trying to find the weaknesses for producing in the box. For people who are just tuning in, we are doing a consult basically for producing in the box. Okay, it says, would you agree that your time has been well spent so far? Nope, because I skipped to the end.
So far. And if you like
what I shared with you so far, you'll love what I got for you next. I don't like the color blue.
What I shared with you so far, I think you'll love what I've got for you next. You see before.
Okay, so one thing I don't like too is when the captions are on the screen. Like, for me, the stuff on the screen is supposed to be different than what you're saying. Okay, you see, before doing this presentation today, I was faced with one of two choices.
Doing this presentation today, I was faced with one of two choices. The first option was part ways with you and then hope that, on your own, you can figure it all out yourself. Or my second option, I could take a more active role and responsibility in your success and create a win-win situation.
If you thought all this, then do it. That's what I'm thinking in my head.
I chose the second option. As a result of doing this for myself and other producers,
I'm not believing. Are y'all believing this tone? I chose the second option. And as a result of doing this myself. So the issue that I'm finding consistently across this brand that we're, helping today is the believability. And the believability element comes down to not being ourself, not showing ourself more, and not leading to the promise that we promise more. Because right now, if I skip all the way to the end of the video and I'm like, what's happening in this video? Like, why is he going to text again?
successfully for over a decade. I built a system to replicate my success for over 600 plus students just like you from
With
all
success from what? Like successful mixes, successful business, what does success mean?
over the world. And if you want to learn more and take your music seriously and get custom tailored help from me, click the button below this video to book a free.
So again, free call on top of a free video is a lot of free. I get skeptical. I know that sounds backwards, but too much free is too much access. It's kind of like trying to think of a movie where, let's just make it like a raw analogy. Like, for example, some dude in a movie is walking down the street in France, and then some girl walks up to him, and she's like, oh, come with me. I'll take you to my place, and we'll have fun tonight, and we'll have a great time. Trust me. And he's like looking at her like, this is too good to be true. And then she starts pulling him to her house, and he's going with it because he's like, he's in France, it's the Olympics, whatever. So the guy's being pulled by this girl, and then she keeps saying, tonight I'm going to do X, Y, and Z and, really take you all the way there, let's just say. And the dude's like, you just met me off the street. I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Doesn't matter what you look like. This is sketchy. The dude might think he's about to get set up for either, something bad. Okay, so now all this too good to be trueness, it's not balanced out with what's called justification. Okay, we need to give people a reason why we're doing all this. Because I'm not believing hey, I had two options. One was to leave you hanging and the other was to help you out. Let me help you out for free again when I just helped you out. So to me, there needs to be a reason why you want to help people, or we need to balance out the transaction and make it very clear, the expectations. So anytime I do something that's grandiose, like when I gave away the free plugin, or when I gave away what's called the power pack, I said, hey, I'm giving this to you guys because I want you to see that I have quality samples, I have a dope mindset for sound design, and I'm building a new plugin. So if you guys like this, you might like my next plugin that I will have for sale. I made it very clear that yes, I'm giving this thing for free, but it's because I want you to see what I have next, something better. This is just like, hey, I have something for free. Here's how to get something else for free. And it's, it's that metaphorical, like it turns something good into a threat, because we're not justifying, we're creating the counterbalance for why we're doing what we're doing. And if we don't explain our intent behind what we're doing, not only does it create the threat analysis, it makes us not understand where we're going with this specific trade, because everything is a trade, a transaction. You're building a relationship with your audience. They need to know the expectations of how this all operates. So to me, having a call to action at the end, one, seems fishy, because now we went from you being on the screen, show me Studio One, to you on a text screen. So it automatically, it's like a dude who just is like, thank you for coming to my home. It was great. Puts on his sunglasses and he's like, you want dessert? It's like, why did you put on sunglasses in the middle of us coming over your house? So these are the small little things that can enhance our business, your business. Want to lean more? Sorry, that's funny.
Active role responsibility.
Want to lean more is funny. Now that made it human again. Want to lean more. Even though it's spelled wrong, it made me laugh. So I'm like, okay, he is human. He makes spelling miscorrection, spelling errors. So hopefully you are picking up the subtleties. It all comes down to trust. And at the end of the day, where are we going with this conversation? So that's what we need to establish in our marketing. We need to tell people where we're going, or else it's the person in our DM that's like, hey, what's up? And you're like, nothing. How may I help you today? And they're like, did you see the last Batman? And you're like, nope, but how can I help you with music production? And like, I really thought that the Batman had great music, but did you see the new NBA Finals? And they keep taking you down these like rabbit holes of conversation. You thought you were going to help them with music production. Meanwhile, they just wanted to talk to somebody because they're bored. So we need to, what I'm saying is, when people come to us for our content, and guidance, we need to tell them what is the next step, or else they feel like we're just wasting their time. They already gave up their time to watch our video. So we need to really hammer down on crystallizing the language, simplifying it, cutting out a lot of the junk, and also keeping it consistent across the opt-in page, the next page, this page, that page. Okay, so I want to check my email to see if he sent me a welcome email, because this too is part of the marketing funnel. But the problem is, though, if we're going to lead people through, like when we click on something and it goes to something else, like I call that an upsell, or, the next step of a funnel. If we have these immediate next steps, we need to get straight to the point then, get those promises out the way then, not in the email. So it says, here's the link to the workshop. And let me see, the workshop takes me probably right back to where we started. Yeah, no. Okay, so this is another sticking point. Let me show you guys real quick. Hold on. All right, so here's the email he sent when we signed up with our email. He says, "Hey, Carlin." Now that's how I want to be addressed. Hey, my first name, not hey, friend. So in the video, just be like, "Yo, what's up, guys?" Or hey, it doesn't need to be hey, friend, hey, boilerplate name. Thank you for watching my VSL. Okay, so again, for those who hopped in and you have no idea what's going on, I'm doing a business consult. It's just that you guys get to see the behind the scenes of what other stuff that I do outside of just, doing live streams about kicks and bass and all that. So you guys need to see the business side, because if you don't understand the business, it doesn't matter how good you get in making beats. It's equivalent to, it doesn't matter how good your content is if your thumbnails suck, if your headlines suck. It doesn't matter how good the video is underneath if nobody even gets to the video because the first stuff sucks. So we need to work on everything before people get to your beats. And that's called business, and that's what we're covering today. And so I don't want to get off track with the comments, but if you do have a question, try to save it towards the end. Or if you do have a real question about marketing, try doing @BusyWorksBeats. It will pop up in a different color on my screen, and then that way I'll know it's important. But if you ask me about 808s and mixing, this is not the time. Okay. So Andrew says, it says, hey, if you haven't yet, you can watch the workshop. So I click on the workshop link, and then it takes me back to the page that we were just at. So ultimately, what's frustrating me as a consumer is, why do we keep coming back to the same thing? Like, what is the actual next step? If the next step is book a free call, what is the next step after that? Like, why do we need to hop on a call before I get to the next step? So these are the things this is an error in your system right here. This email should send people to the final step in the sequence. It shouldn't send them back to where they signed up. This should take them to the next step, not back to step 2. Okay. So that's where that's a big error. I would change these links out to go to your website or a course on your website or something to put them right in the experience with no further. Oh, this is Jay Griff. That's a whole different person. Whoops. Okay. So that was a different email from Jay Griff, it says. Okay. So yeah. So when he sees this, he'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so those were the weaknesses that I can find. Now, let me do one more thing here, and let me go to his actual website. So again, for those who are like clueless as to what's happening right now, what I'm doing is called a SWOT analysis, SWOT. S stands for strengths, W stands for weaknesses, O stands for opportunity, T stands for threat. Okay, so right now we're focusing on the W, because this is where most people, they can't see what's happening in their business. Okay, anyhow, so now we're on producing in the box. So let's say I'm tired of all the opt-ins. I want to get to the content. Where is the content? Where are the courses? Where's the thing that you're trying to sell me? Because I want to learn more. I want to spend, but there's no opportunity to spend money. So now I'm like pissed, and I go back to your website, and I go to my library. I go to store. I'm like, what can I buy right now? I'm not trying to go through the opt-in for another opt-in to log into another opt-in. I'm trying to get to the actual stuff. Now I go to your store, and this is all I see: Trapbox sample pack, Studio One Jumpstart pack, and Basic to Pro vocal production bootcamp. Okay, so let's see what all this is. So the sales, so I could tell you off the bat, you don't have enough products. You need to up your products to at least 30 products. There's a book called Michael Masterson, Ready, Fire, Aim. And he says in the first $0 to $1 million is that we need to have at least 30 products. Okay, so the first, 0 to $1 million is getting the products up. Get your number of products up, because we're trying to solve as many problems for as many people as possible. So again, if we have a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche, like if I'm only talking to Studio One, keep clicking on my mic, my fault, y'all. Like if I'm only talking to Studio One folks, and then my only solution is vocals, what about the people who want to do drums in Studio One, bass, sound design? We're missing out on all these other things. So there's a lot we can do even within Studio One, but even still, we need to go a little bit broader with the solutions that we offer here. So, excuse me. The issue I can find here is that we're probably using Kajabi. If I right click and I go to inspect, I can see what you guys are using. So if you go to sources, it tells me over here. Okay, so you're using Kajabi, which is a membership website type platform. Now, the issue that I found with membership websites, and this is an issue that is hard to solve, is that their sales pages suck with the worst. They suck. Like even my own website, it's hard to format because I'm building, if you go to busyworksbeats.com, we have 60 plus music production courses. So when I go to your website and I see pretty much one course that I could take, I want to learn about sound design through Studio One, music theory, mixing. I want to learn the DAW, Music One DAW. I want to learn the basics. I want to learn the mixing plugins that I don't even know about. Like I want to learn so much more about Studio One, but it's not here in this list of stuff. And so if that is not there, I'm going to go back to YouTube and get distracted by other people. So hopefully we're seeing where we're dropping the audience in our solutions for them. Like if you go to busyworksbeats.com, this looks so janky because I built it on my platform that I use for my training, which is thinkific.com. So, but what do you see when you go to busyworksbeats.com? You see a face of me, my face, 60 plus music production courses, and the outcome that people desire, music production mastery. Very straightforward. I get all that across in the first second that you're on the website. It's me. I tell you the outcome, music production mastery, and I tell you exactly what I offer, 60 plus music production courses. Very clear, very straightforward, to the point. Whereas these other websites, I had to click on a tab, to click on another tab, to go to another tab, to then figure out that this wasn't even what I was looking for. Okay, so this is where we have a lot of friction with our audience. But anyhow, I came here to say this is why my page does not look like anything stunning. It's because I'm using what's called the Thinkific framework for their website building. Now, if you go to my my website for my plugin, HerculesPlugin.com. Now this website looks way more fancy, even though I'm using a template. It looks a little bit more fancy because we're not using those underlying education platforms. This is built off of something called Webflow. Okay, so it says Supercharger Sounds. Hercules Synth plugin was built for producers by producers by now. Very clear in a video. And then you have 3 offers, straight to the point. Now this could change. This is kind of sloppy. I was kind of running fast with this plugin, so this could all change. This is sucky right here. Scroll down, and it just goes through to explain all the little nuances of the plugin. Now, the percentage of people that scroll this far down, probably slim to none. They're only going to stay above that fold, most of the people. Okay. And then blah, blah, blah. And then all my offers for HerculesPlugin.com. So this is more customizable through something called Webflow. So it allows me to build landing pages and very specific marketing pages outside of ClickFunnels, because ClickFunnels was the only other solution that I had, but it was getting very expensive. I used to pay $300 a month for ClickFunnels just to make a page for people to sign up with their emails. It was the most expensive subcategory, but it was useful when I used to use it for commerce, but then I stopped using it for commerce and it got confusing because I was using multiple systems. So anyway, let's go all the way back. And that's the number one flaw though. So revenue's capped because we don't have enough product. And then our business is not growing fast because we don't have a big enough audience to talk to. So these are the biggest, biggest hurdles. And the biggest thing here is that I guess this is a Kajabi sales page. It doesn't show me what you showed me in the beginning. Think of it like this. and I said this many times, but I want people to really grasp what I'm saying. Like in the beginning, how many people are even here? I don't even know. I'm talking to the choir here. In the beginning of dating, for example, okay, you're wearing your Gucci belt, your shiny shoes, your dress shirt, your slimmest pants, your fit. You show your best self up front, which is YouTube. I'm just speaking in metaphors here. So that's our YouTube videos. We're dressing up to the T for YouTube and doing everything right and wearing our Gucci belt and everything, brushing our teeth. Okay. And then we get to the site and now we're wearing shorts. I'm talking about myself, by the way. Now we're wearing shorts, you know, a jersey, didn't shower in 2 days. You know, now we're getting a little less dressing uppy. Okay. And that's on the website. Then we get to the sales page. And now, you know, I'm trying to think of something worse than that. You know, now it's not brushing our teeth. You know, now it's no deodorant for 3 days in a row. But trust me, I'll be clean one day. And so what I'm saying is if we're not mirroring what we show people in the beginning, they will lose trust. Okay. Now I'm generalizing because that's not always true, but we showed all this in the front, and then by the time we get to the end, it's not showing the same thing. So I become skeptical. Now, the biggest thing I can see on the sales page, you need video. If you could add video to this, it needs to be video. Because if I didn't see all those sales pages and all those YouTube videos that we saw before, and I'm just coming to your website, and I click on store, and I see this as the first, representation of us, it does not even remotely probably get into the value that you offer. Like as a beginner, what is a full vocal production course? What does that mean? What are we going to cover? Am I going to sound like Mariah Carey after this? Am I going to learn how to run a Pro Tools session in LA after this where I can potentially get a placement? What is the outcome that we're trying to get? Because right now, these are just things. I don't know what these mean yet because I'm a beginner and I don't even know what Slate Digital is yet. So hopefully you can get the gist on what I'm saying there. And also testimonials and text don't hold up as good as screenshots if you could add that. But I understand there's limitations to probably Kajabi, web page building. So this just looks sketchy, like email and then card number and then complete purchase. So that's why we're not seeing enough conversions, is all these little micro decisions about trust. Your content can be the most fire in the world, but if we're not consistent with the trust all the way till the end, nobody's going to say yes. Let me just show you just the contrast so that I'm not sounding like I'm just picking at every little thing. Let's say somebody goes to busyworksbeats.com. First thing they see, me. Here's their desired outcome, music production mastery. What are they getting? 60 plus music production courses. If they click here for a 14-day free trial, which is a no-brainer deal, it's free. I click on this. It takes them to another page, which technically I should take them to the checkout at that point. But here's where it elaborates a little bit more as to what the heck is going on. So here I explain more people in the industry who vouch, or like my stuff at one point in time. And then we scroll down and then we see, oh, this is everything that's in here. Wow, it's a lot of stuff. Even if I'm skimming, I go, wow, that's a lot of stuff. Then I go, okay, $49 a month with 14-day free trial. Okay, boom, click on that. And it gets straight to the checkout. Okay, so it gets straight to the point. And the thing is, if I go back even, I forgot a step. I forgot to show you something. If I go back to the very beginning, I have that video that explains what's in the actual course. Okay, so I don't know if that was in his initial, let me go all the way back. So on the front page, no video, no face, no nothing. Okay, next I click store. No video, no face, no nothing. I click this, no video, no page, no nothing. So the entire pathway has none of the things that got people to pay attention in the first place, which was our YouTube. We forgot to do the things that got the people's attention, metaphorically speaking. What's up, Beat Juggernaut?
Hello and welcome to BusyWorks.
So here, that's me in my environment.
This is the new premium experience where I guide you step by step in the music production process. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're intermediate, or whether you even think you're advanced, I can take you to that.
And I even put it on YouTube because that's where people found me from, YouTube. So that everything is the same from where they found me, and it looks the same, and it's the same person. And we got to realize that everybody doesn't have time to learn about us and know that it's us and our website and we own this and that.
level. My obsession is to solve your problems. Trust me, I've been doing this for years. I have over 5,000 free videos, and this is my crystallized information on music business, music production, music theory, mixing, the DAW, FL Studio, now Logic Pro. We're gonna be adding
I'm wearing
new
that
courses
same
over time.
jersey. As a matter of fact, I'm branding so heavily that I'm wearing the same jersey. What are the odds? I got the same jersey on in the video that I got on right now. All my sales videos are consistent. That's just happenstance. That was not planned at all.
You have 65 courses on music production alone and some business courses and social media as well. So this is basically one huge university where you can come in and just learn and focus on something very specific. The difference between YouTube and this platform is that YouTube, we have to be entertaining and we have to grab people's attention. We have to be hyperbolic, as they say. On this platform, I can give you the information and I can guide you step by step without all of the stuff that we have to do for YouTube to remain, in the algorithm. This is where
I'm
you get down to
explaining why. Didn't I say earlier? He was giving me all this free stuff and never explained why. Here's me explaining why. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit more.
very specific. The difference between YouTube and this platform is that YouTube, we have to be entertaining and we have to grab people's attention. We have to be hyperbolic, as they say. On this platform, I can give you the information and I can guide you step by step without all of the stuff that we have to do for YouTube to remain, in the algorithm. This is where you get down to the nuts and the bolts. This is why stuff works. This is
Explaining why. Okay, so that is... In the first minute, I tackled the majority of trust elements, and that's why people convert higher on BusyWorksBeats.com than they would anywhere else. And if people don't believe me as to how many people convert, I probably should have did this in the beginning, but whatever. So let me go to my website here. Now this is more so, again, this is what I would show, in the consultation. I would not, so you guys are really seeing like behind the scenes. This is how I talk behind the scenes. I'm gonna show my stats real quick. How do I see the total? Let me pull up the analytics, and this should be the chart. Pulling up stats to back up everything I'm saying. So give me a second. Let's do all time. Is there all time? They have a new thing on here to where it's confusing. Let's do from, never mind, this is convoluted. I'm on this weird complex chart. Let me just do the basic counter thing. I'm gonna just zoom in to the user count. And I'm gonna make my point. So if we zoom in, there we go. All right, so as you guys can see, this website has more than 250,000 students on this website. You don't get 250,000 people first without the traffic, meaning there's enough people looking to solve problems. There has to be 250,000 people in the market to help 250,000 people. So the first step is understanding the total addressable market. The second step is converting that audience over to the next step. So the next step for me is, okay, get people to sign up to the website, try out the stuff. Maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't. Get them on the website to understand that I'm really trying to help them. Like I've really focused on this every day. Like, how do I make their life better? I just want them to see that from their perspective. So I get them on the website so that they can feel that for themselves. And then I have to follow up on these trust elements to keep people on the website. And so that's what leads to the 250,000 something students, is because it starts with the million people who are just paying attention to stuff. And then I have to solve a real problem. And then when I solve that real problem, then they convert, because I'm building trust every single step of the way, and it's all consistent trust. And that's how you end up with, a lot of folks on your website. But it's because I'm a natural teacher too. Like we're leaning into our strengths. Everybody's not a teacher. I just happen to be somebody who really likes teaching. I don't know what it is. It's just in my DNA. Not everybody has that though. All right, so that was the SWOT analysis. Now we went over the strengths, we went over the weaknesses. Now let's talk about the opportunities. The opportunities are pretty clear for Producing in the Box. Producing in the Box, the next opportunity is simply redo the homepage and talk to people's desired outcomes. They don't care about all this. They want to see your face and where are you going? You're the leader. Where are you taking people? That's it. All this extra stuff can be deleted, in my opinion. This whole area can be deleted. Even this, I'm skimming and I'm still not paying attention to it. Even when I look at it, I'm not paying attention to it. So it's arbitrary because we're looking for resonance points. We're looking for stuff to identify that this is a human experience. And all of these things are just words on a screen right now. Okay, so again, the next opportunity is to offer the counterbalance as to why we're giving these folks all this free information. So we need to make sure that we're telling them, hey, I'm giving you this for free because I want you to see how dope I am. And when you see how dope I am, you'll probably buy X, Y, and Z. And that X, Y, and Z, we need to expand. The next opportunity, the third opportunity here, is build more courses. We only have one course that solves one problem, which is how to do pro vocal production. Okay. Which I assume is for beginners. We have opportunity to do advanced version of that. We have an opportunity to do mixing in Studio One, sound design in Studio One, rock genre. Like myself, I would study rock from you because I think that's your strong suit. And I don't know anything about rock. I don't know what down tuning means, drop C, no idea. So to a person like me, that'd be valuable. So these are the things that we need to expand. Your product need to have at least 30 products. So that will increase your revenue, having more products. As far as getting more traffic, we need to look at the opportunity of bigger keywords because right now your video is targeting, and funny enough, your keywords aren't even targeting the thing that your channel is known for, which is Studio One. So this video is using keywords that are so low that it's not even bringing up the traffic of these keywords. So we might need more. Go to Moz.com. If you guys want to learn keyword research, go to Moz, MOZ.com. Let me log in real quick. And they have a bunch of free tools. I didn't learn this for a long time because nobody told me it was free. So if you log into Moz.com, in the top here, it says free SEO tools. We're going to go to Keyword Explorer. Okay, now I'm going to type in, now you have limited searches, so I don't want to like waste my, see it says 8 out of 10 queries available until 7/31. I guess it's 5 days. I'm not going to use it. So let's type in Studio One. And let's see how many keywords pop up for Studio One. Let's see the traffic for Studio One. Okay, so it says according to Google traffic, at least, this is giving us 11,000 searches a month from Google. And we saw 100,000 searches coming from YouTube when we use that tool called Keywords Everywhere. Now that's a paid tool, $4.99 a month. But it's basically 100,000 monthly viewers on the word Studio One. Okay, now if I type in FL Studio, and remember this is Google traffic, not YouTube traffic. So FL Studio gets about 100-something thousand monthly views every month. So we need to go back to the drawing board and see which keywords are we targeting. And it's not only the keywords in our actual video description, it's also the words that we're saying in the video. Because Google now has technology that parses, I think is the word, apart our video into audio. That's how they create subtitles. They can hear the words you're saying. And they use that to match up, the keywords that are associated with the video as well. So these keywords need to match what we're actually talking about in the video. And on top of that, we need to deliver on the expectation that we promised with the video title. Okay, so that's what I would revise is these are very low traffic. If I clicked on how to mix rock, let's see how much search volume we get with this. There's 70 people searching this every month. How to mix rock. 70 people. Okay, so
with 5 Grammy Awards, a list of top name credits responsible.
These are the opportunities we have producing in the box. We could change out the keywords for the video. We could start using bigger keywords in our content, like ChatGPT, Spotify. These are keywords that have a bigger audience, but we could still talk to the niche problem. Do you want to target those keywords though if they are oversaturated? You talking about FL Studio? It doesn't matter. Here's the problem. When people talk about saturation, Roach, I might go, hey, okay, FL Studio's quote unquote oversaturated. Well, how many people are looking up how to mix rock? 70. Okay, it's not saturated, but it only has 70 searches a month. So I'd rather go to where the traffic
with 5
exists.
Grammy Awards, a list of top name credits.
In other words, I'll say it this way. I would rather get 0.1% of a million views a month, which is, what is that? I don't even know the math. Let's do that math real quick. Whoops. 0.1%. So is that 0.00? I did this. Okay, so let's do 0.001 if I'm not mistaken. Right? 0.1%. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Hold up. We're gonna ask ChatGPT to do the math for us because it's been a while. Hold up. ChatGPT. We're gonna stay logged out. Okay. All right, we're gonna say ChatGPT. What is 0.1% of 1 million? And compare the difference between that and 100% of 70. So it's going to do its math. I don't know what it's doing on the screen because it's been a while since math class. So it says, so 0.1% of 1 million is 1,000. So even if I'm not getting even 1% of the traffic from FL Studio, I'm still getting 1,000 views. Whereas I can have 100% of 70. I could be the king of that small pond, but it's only 70. And 70, the difference is 930. I need that in percentage. Give me that in percentage difference. So now I'm telling ChatGPT to give me a percentage instead of a number. That's 1,328% higher by me going after the quote unquote saturated keyword than to go after a not saturated keyword with less competition. Because again, small pond. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say here. So anyway, go to Moz.com to use that free keyword tool. A lot of people don't talk about it. That will help you guys understand Google traffic. Now, when it comes to YouTube traffic, you guys can use stuff like keyword tool. What's it called? Keywords everywhere. That's what it's called. But it's a paid tool. So those are the opportunities our guy Producing in the Box has to grow his brand. And I can guarantee you Producing in the Box, let me go to your stats real quick. So it says here that you get about a quarter of your views from, now that's in the year. So let's see, last 30 days. So I could tell you right now, the growth that you dropped off is doing shorts. You haven't done shorts in a year. You got a quarter of your traffic. Wait, yeah, a quarter of your traffic came from shorts. And you haven't done it in a year. Ding, ding, ding. That's your opportunity for growth right there. You need to do YouTube shorts. That says it all. Let me go back to this channel here. Producing in the Box. Let's see what his shorts are because I didn't see his shorts channel. Let's go to shorts. And the cool thing about shorts, you don't need to do a bunch of video editing. You could literally just do it off your phone. You don't need to do all this like stuff. Trust me. Some of my best videos are like the worst quality videos. Let's see how long ago this was. Let's see. Sometimes I don't like how shorts like don't give us enough. Okay, so this says 2 weeks ago. So so something about this stat is not right. Oh, 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago. Yeah, do more shorts. That's the problem. You need to do like 5 shorts a day on minimum. That's minimum. This is 1 month ago. So that's your opportunity for growth as far as your YouTube channel. Second opportunity is, again, we talked about how to convert that traffic. We need to focus on the trust elements looking the same. Your face, all those things I talked about before. Next thing to optimize, the opportunity we have is for your brand is to build out more products, aka more solutions. And then the final thing that I could see as an opportunity is YouTube Shorts. If I didn't already say that, for growing your channel. Those are the levers for this specific brand on how to grow. All right, so that was all I could really think of. Let me see if I have any more tabs open. So even my channel, for example, everybody's like, Game, your video doesn't have 30,000 views. It's only been 1 day and your video doesn't have 30,000 views. I'm like, man, the channel gets 2 million views a month almost. But I have 5,000, I almost have 6,000 videos. Okay, so my supply is pretty high. And a lot of those views are coming from shorts. So I'm getting 1.2 million views on shorts, which I don't even post consistently. I need to be way more consistent with that. I'm taking the opportunity. Shorts has a low supply on YouTube. So I'm going to supply the demand. If there's low supply, I'm going to hop in and attack that. So while it's fresh. TikTok stats, I'm not sure which website actually gives proper TikTok stuff. Maybe Social Blade. I don't like TikTok because it's too variable. Like if I go to BusyWorks, let me see if we can look up TikTok. I think I need the paid thing to look at TikTok. Maybe not. It's not as much data from TikTok, so this is not gonna give us much. Let's look up producing in the box. I'm assuming he has the same name on TikTok, but let's see. Also, if you guys are doing shorts, you need to be posting the shorts to all the platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, everywhere that accepts shorts. So, and here it doesn't show anything on his TikTok specifically, so I don't know if he posts on there or what. Let's load mine up. So that is my breakdown for our guy producing in the box. So you guys can go subscribe to him and watch his journey. Now, if he applies these techniques, I can guarantee his channel is going to grow 10x because he has so many levers to grow that it's insane. I didn't realize he had this many levers to grow. So he can definitely 10x in the next year. But only if he applies this stuff. So if you guys want to see if he applies these techniques, there's his page. The algo on TikTok is really messed up. It's in my opinion, it's built to be a lottery system. Like give you a couple views here so that you think that the next videos are going to give you that many views, and you keep posting and posting and posting, and you're giving us content for free because you think you're going to hit the lottery again. That's what I think TikTok is underneath the hood. So let me get back to your questions. Now that you guys have seen the whole consult, that is how I advise folks behind the scenes about how to grow their brand. Now, I've not focused on TikTok, so the stats looking kind of dismal here. 700 followers. I don't even know how many followers we have on TikTok. Not even sure. I know I have over 1 million likes on TikTok. I know that much. Okay, so apparently I have 79,000 followers. Okay, on TikTok. All right, but okay, so this data is not accurate because it should not be going from 0 to 1 million to 0. That's not accurate data. So we can't really rely on this website. It's not accurate. I forgot to go over his Instagram to see if he had opportunity. It says, I teach musicians how to produce again. We do not care about the thing that the person does or what they make. We care about where we're trying to go. So this should say, you know, want to have radio ready vocals. Even that's kind of like outdated because who even cares about the radio anymore? But maybe, you know, want to have super crisp vocals or whatever the promise is, that needs to be right here. And then next step, click here to learn whatever for free. Even better, Andrew, to use something called ManyChat. Okay, so ManyChat is a Facebook partner. If you guys don't believe me, look it up. So this is called a chat bot. I used to be afraid of chat bots because I'm like, won't I get banned for using a chat bot? But if you look up on facebook.com, it says they have a partnership with ManyChat. Okay, so they are partnered with ManyChat. ManyChat is, I'll log in. Actually, am I logged in? Anytime, I'll just keep it short, okay? Because I don't even want to go in the back end of ManyChat. And it's free, by the way. I think it's free. It's $15 a month, something really cheap. Just make sure you always delete your contacts after every week so that you don't get billed for a higher tier. But export your what are called PSIDs. I think ManyChat does offer a free thing because now I'm thinking about it. But anyhow, I pay $15 a month for it. I'm spitting into the mic. $15 a month for it. And let's say anytime you comment the word Hercules on my Instagram, I'll send you a link to my plugin called Hercules. If you comment the word book, I'll DM you, a link to my book. It automatically does it for me. So instead of on my Instagram page leading people to a website, another way I can get people to interact is to either DM or comment the word, a certain keyword that will trigger something else. And also it's easier to get people to do that because, again, they have to fumble around on our website. It's harder to convert people on sites that just don't look the same as where we came from. Okay, here, this looks random. Is that your girl or something? I don't know. 40s. Okay, so they don't look like ones that stood out. So I'm not sure why this is here and why this is here. Because this has more likes than this, so I'm not sure. So I would revisit those pinned posts. Again, I can't see everything because I'm not logged in. And I would have testimonials as one of your highlights here in Instagram. Because highlights, very vague. Vocal secrets, very vague. And why I do this, we don't care. You know, I'm just speaking from a consumer's point of view. Okay, here are your reels. So it looks like it says 0 comments. Is that true? No, that's not true. So we need to get people commenting on your stuff. And I think the way to do that is to use ManyChat. Give something away if they comment the word vocals, like give a free video or something, lead them to a VSL, whatever your thing is. Okay, so it says DM me the word Vox. Instead of the DM, say comment the word Vox. Okay, so instead of the DM thing, make it a comment thing. Then you'll have people commenting. So that's why your posts aren't going very far on Instagram, because Instagram isn't getting the signals they need to push your stuff out to more people. All right, so use ManyChat. Review, that's a great question. I guess on YouTube chat, I screenshot that every now and again, put them on my Instagram. So in the chat, you could put a little review or whatever. I think I covered everything there needs to be covered with our guy Andrew there. Here's the blueprint on how to get your first million. Basically, the numerical milestones you need to get to a million. Now, somebody earlier asked me, what was the question? He said, what are your, in the first 90 days, which goals or markers should you have? Now, for our guy Andrew, for example, producing in the box, his total views are, it says 5 million. So he has 317 videos. Is there a calculator app on there? Let me see. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do some math here. So we have 5 million views. So let's say 5,000,000. Divide that by 317 videos. 317. And it shows us how many views he gets per video on average over time. So on average over time, producing in the box gets 15,000 views per video. Let's just round it up and say, let's keep it at 15,000 views per video. So now that I know how many views he gets per video, let's say my goal is to get, you know, I want to go to 1 million views a month. Okay, well now I need to take this number. How do we copy in here? Is there a way to copy? I don't know how to copy in here. Let's see if that works. Okay, so that does work. Okay, so I want 1 million views. So I want 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I want 1 million views. That's my goal in this case, his goal. We're going to divide that by how many views he gets per video. So he needs a total of 63 videos in a month's time. Now, how do we break this down even further into targets? We say, okay, we have 30 days in a month on average. Let's divide 63 by 30. I need to make 2 videos a day on average to get to my goal of 1 million views a month. And then you take this further and say, okay, how many views does it take to get X amount of email opt-ins? So does it take 1 million views to get 10,000 email opt-ins? Well, then I need, if my goal is 50,000 email opt-ins, I need 5 million views. And now you can start mapping out your business from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. First step, how many views on content does it take? Second step, how many email opt-ins do I get, or how many text numbers do I get from my email list or text list? Third step is how many people of those people that I have on my email list turn into actual customers that I can serve over time. And the only way to measure this is to do what I just did. So basically, Andrew's formula, if he wanted 1 million views in a month, all he has to do is make 2 to 3 videos a day. He could probably do that in his sleep. And they don't need to be these long, elaborate videos. They could be, you know, I think people overproduce on YouTube. So that's his formula. If he wants 1 million views in a month, 2 videos a day. Can he commit to 2 videos a day? If the answer is yes, then why isn't he doing that? If he claims he wants to grow. So that's how I would break down my targets and my goals, like that. You need to know your accuracy before you measure where you're trying to go. Anyhow, I think we have gone over all the concepts there. So let me start answering your questions here. Appreciate you, man. Let me know. Cool. My tracks feel empty. This is not about music production, but let's read his question. My tracks feel empty. I have a sample bass line and drums in my tracks usually, but they still feel like they're lacking. What else should I do? You need to add more harmonics. Focus on the word harmonics. Learn as much as you can about the word harmonics, Mayo. You're going to get that through saturation, compression. Doxither says, do you use Go High Level? No, I think that's the new like ClickFunnels, getting people to, I don't know what Go High Level is, so I don't want to speak on the brand, but the people pushing it are like affiliate marketer type crowd, which is people just selling a dream. Now, could Go High Level be the next cure for everything online? I don't know. Could be. But to me, it's just people get on Go High Level to then sell it to the next person, to then sell it to the next person. It's not like marketers that I've talked to don't use it. So what's the most important thing a beginner producer needs to focus on when starting a new channel? Beginner producer, it depends on, do you make content? Do you make just beats? In my opinion, you need to make content way more than beats. You can't learn about a person through the beats they post. And hopefully, as you just saw in my breakdown of producing in the box, his biggest error was not showing himself enough in the whole sales process. So with tight beats, you're just uploading a beat and putting somebody else's picture on it. The trust is very low. So you have to do a lot to convince people to interact with you. And that's why I recommend that people do podcasts, content videos, tutorials, something that puts your face out there as a person. Okay, not just the beat. People are lazy. They just want to put up a beat and call it a day. It's not business. That's just being lazy. Yeah, I have a TikTok. See what I mean? And people who on TikTok don't even know I have a YouTube. So it's like, we got to be everywhere. Do you have any advice on how to increase chances of getting a placement? Placement is a people game. Do I have a video on that? You need to get around people who make plays. That's the problem. It's not about your business, not about your website. You need to get around people who are actually involved with getting placements every single day. Or you need to build up an artist for yourself so that you create your own placements. That's what I would recommend, but nobody wants to hear it. What would you say to someone that is feared to start a YouTube channel? Let me switch screens. Hold on. I thought I had the chat. Is the chat in here? Wait, Chrome. Hold on. There we go. There's the chat. Okay, there we go. Now we can chat. There it is. All right, so Doxither says, what would you say to someone that is feared, that is afraid to start a YouTube channel, showing their face? Like someone who is scared of what their friends would think of or say. Well, first of all, they're not your friend. Okay. I have a book called The Producer Bible. Let me pull it up real quick. Hold on, I'm on the wrong account. Give me a second. I'll read it word for word so that it's not. So I'm working on expanding it's called The Producer Bible. And yesterday I was like writing in it and I randomly clicked on a page and it pulled this up. Let me figure out what page it was though. I think it was March 10th, was it? Oh, March 11th. Okay, here it is. So I went to see like where I left off on this book. And the last, oops, hold up, y'all. I keep clicking the wrong stuff. And the last thing that I could click on, these bookmarks, says March 11th. So I clicked on March 11th to see where I left off on the book. And it brought me to this page. And it says how they use the word friend. So this is for you, Doxither. If I'm saying that right. It says, to them, friend equals free. The truth is, friends vanish when times get rough. When it's their turn to add value, they disappear. And I said, I won't give you absolutes, but I will say that most people overvalue this thing called a friend. I said overvalue, not undervalue, overvalue. And I said, friends gain access to your subconscious mind. Friends surpass the brain judgment barrier. Friends influence you without you even knowing. Friends hold your secrets. Friends understand how to unwind you from the seams. And I said, be careful and be aware of who you keep around you. Enemies stay awfully close, even closer than friends. Why? Because enemies need data to understand how to craft their attacks using your weaknesses and flaws in logic. Enemies want the inside scoop. They ask questions, they stay quiet, and they listen while you pour out all your plans and intent. And I said, when I was young, I thought people were just paranoid. But if you don't believe me, just watch the Love Island TV series. And I said, watch how close the guys get when they want the same girl. They befriend one another and spend time around one another as friends, quote unquote. They get close. The two guys get close because their desires are aligned, meaning they want the same girl. But when it's time to acquire their desire, meaning go after the girl, they conflict, meaning they clash. Because the two guys realized they were just spending time with their enemy, giving their enemy all the secrets and the game plan on how to attack them as a man. There's a reason friend, quote unquote, and fiend have a lot of similarities. Friend means to love. Fiend means enemy. Okay, so friend means to love. Fiend means enemy. The only difference is the R. Now I said, trust me, you think you have friends? And I said, okay, let's do a test. If you answer no to any of the following, I want you to revisit the title. You freely give others, meaning the word friend on people. Give others because they have the same interest. And I said, people basically say that people are their friends because they have the same interests. That doesn't make somebody a friend. That makes you an acquaintance. Okay, so anyway, I said, if you answer no to any of the following, I want you to revisit the word friend that you give to people. And I said, assuming your friend has the funds, my head might be in the way too. I can't see my head, so I don't know how big my screen is. But I said, assuming your friend has the funds. So again, assuming your friend has the funds, if you needed $500 cash by tomorrow to invest in a once in a lifetime opportunity, would your friend give it to you? That's the first test. What up, Maui? Then I said, if you set a boundary, a promise, or an oath to yourself not to break, would your friend encourage you against that oath? And thirdly, I said, your friend won a team game show and the prize is $20 million. Your friend has to decide a split percentage. You have to agree on the split or you both go home with nothing. Would your friend give you more than 10%? So those are things you could use to judge and measure if somebody's your actual friend. Okay, so I literally created a framework around that in my book. Funny enough, you asked that because I literally read that yesterday, trying to add more to my book. I ended up on that page. So it's funny you asked that. What's the difference of trap and melodic trap? You know what? I wish I knew the answer, but I think melodic trap is more musical trap instead of just like half steps, in my opinion. And like, whereas melodic trap is like guitar, gunna type stuff. It's very musical. So that's what I think. So trap is like suspended seconds, you know, half steps, very just basic music theory. Whereas melodic trap is like a lot of music theory, a lot of chords. B Juggernaut says Super Mario said he is going to the event in Dallas. What? Super Mario said he is going to that event in Dallas. Wines Beats. I don't know what that is. Wine and Beats. Cool. Oh, my bad. Oh, you're talking to Wine. Okay, my bad. I didn't see that. Sorry. It says going to the Beat Stars Creator Day event tomorrow in Dallas. Going to be a good opportunity to network. Dope. But never mind, I'm not going to say nothing. How many consistent subs should you have to build a community Discord? Consistent subscribers? You mean on Discord or YouTube? Because Discord growth comes from all of your traffic stuff, not just YouTube. It comes from TikTok, Instagram. Mostly we get Discord people from our Instagram, not YouTube. So building a community, I recommend the book called Social Code. You have to understand like what actually makes a community. And for those who don't know, our Discord has, let me see. Let's pull up our Discord stats real quick. I would say when people say community, Discord is the pure definition of what community actually is. So when people say community, this is the app for building true community. School is just BS wrapped as like community. It's not community. It's just people who built the platform to try to sell you guys on building all your IP on it so that you can never leave. That's what it is. And you can't fool me. Okay, so let's switch here. Switch. All right, so Social Code is that book. Discord, let's see how many people we have here. We have we're 23 away from 90,000 folks in our Discord. So when you ask me how to build a Discord, we are the authority in building a Discord, at least to this degree, in the music space. Now, there are Discords way bigger than ours. Like Midjourney has either 21 million or 12 million people. It's an insane amount of people in their Discord. But they have a product, that's their whole product, and it's a massive product. So, I learned a lot about building community to where it's clean. It's not a bunch of nonsense. Like, here's my community. And if I go to Kenny Beats community, let's go to his. He technically has the biggest one, but I don't see him active in here at all. I don't know. Maybe he is. But if you read a lot of the chat, it's just like nonsense chat. Just random people talking about random stuff. Like a dead zebra, what is it? Like what? And if you go to Cody's, shout out to Cody, his chat is just wild. Like, you could probably see memes in here. You could tell it's a younger audience. So they're just putting up whatever. So it's very, like, not serious folks in there. So you got to learn how to curate and scale that curation over time. It takes a lot of consistency, thought processes, systems, and a lot of focus. And the only answer I can give you in a short amount of time is read the book called Social Code. Which actually you can get, you don't even need the book. Just type in Medium, Social Code, summary maybe. There's an article. I'll link you in the chat. Here it is. All right, so just copy. Wait, it used to be free. Hold on. Wait, members only. It used to be a free article. Darn. I think they put a paywall up. I'm sure you could ask ChatGPT, what are the PowerPoints of Social Code? You don't need to read a blog. You could just ask ChatGPT. It'll give you the key points. And once you understand the key points of the Social Code, you don't need to like really read the entire book unless you want to go that deep. Doxter said, what would you say to somebody who's afraid to start a YouTube with their face? Oh, I went on the whole thing about the friend thing to say that the people you're calling friends, Doxter, are probably not even your friends by definition. So, what do you care about these people? They're not going, like, we think these people are going to be there when you've never tested them to that level. Like, when you say friend, I'm thinking somebody who's going to pull up when you're stranded somewhere. Have you ever tested them to do that? If the answer is no, then why do you give them the title? Okay, so you need to redefine the word friend for yourself and your own mental health. But yeah, I think making your face known is the secret. And once you start seeing success and that people actually want to talk to people, you'll be like, oh, this is what they wanted the whole time. Me doing faceless stuff was not connecting. I was actually being punished by the market by not having my face. Whereas the market will reward you for having your face out there, because personal brand will be the new differentiate when we get into the world of AI. Ostrich Egg says, busy, be blessed. Awesome. All right, so Doxter, you said, what's the important thing to know as a beginner on YouTube? Thumbnails matter. Your title matters first, then everything else. Do you have any advice on how to increase it? Okay, I answered that one. I let the ads play the whole way every time I watch your streams. Oh, my fault. I forgot to turn that off. Dang. Sorry, y'all. You said you let the ad play the whole time? That's hilarious. That's funny. I appreciate that. Do you want to target those keywords, though, if they are over? Okay, we covered that. So we should make it always easy for a customer. That's what you're saying, basically. Like, here's something that used to happen in the marketing community. They would be like, they would say, okay, marketing expert is going to be at this live event about real estate. Okay, then you pull up to the event and the marketing expert is not at the event. You think they're going to show up and they never show up. That's because they used marketing expert to get you to the event, to make you think they're going to show up, and then they never show up magically. It happened almost every time. And then I was like, okay, they're just lying to me at this point. They used X, Y, and Z's face to get me to an event. And then they want to sell me to the next thing, which is this $1,000 course or whatever it is on real estate. or this $1,000 event for real estate where they're going to sell me another thing, a $10,000 thing. So what was my point? I don't even remember where we started on that. I forgot. Let me figure out why I went on that tangent. Give me a second. Oh, easy for the customer. So my point is, I trusted that the marketing expert would show up. That's what I was trusting. So when I got to the event, marketing expert wasn't there. Trust went way down. Then at the end, when I realized they really weren't coming, I was like, why am I going to the next step if marketing expert isn't there? So when I was talking about being consistent across all those web pages, from the YouTube to the website to the opt-in to the VSL, we need to show up every single time because that's what people are trusting in, along with the promise that we promise. Thank you, Ostrich, for doing that. All right, so hopefully I'm letting you guys know it goes way deeper than just hitting upload, which should show a lot of people. Like if I'm speaking Chinese to y'all, that means you have a lot of homework to do. Like you have a ton of homework to do. You think you know marketing until I show you marketing. Think you know business until I show you where your business is like there's holes in your business. You said, sorry to get you off topic, but where can I see which courses I need to take first from you? I just signed up to premium and it's not showing me which ones. That's a great question, and that's something I need to fix. Now there's a conundrum that I have, Doxter, is that the next level of the back end thing costs like, let's say $1,000 more per month. And to me, I can't justify that much per month on the subtle difference that it gives. But it is the next step because it creates your answer, which is what is the thing that I should do after this thing? They're called paths. Okay. So I try to do that through what's called like course ordering. So if I go to busyworksbeats.com, my courses are ordered in premium in the way that people should watch them. So if you go to premium, here, I'll show you. Hold on. All right. So if you go to my, busyworksbeats.com, it takes you to my course website. On the dashboard, you should see the courses in the order in which I recommend you guys go through it. Now, I've already gone through some courses, so it's not in a specific order, but how they're listed, if you go to all courses, this is the listing of how I'd recommend people go through the courses. So if you click at the top where it says all courses, this is the order. Premium, deluxe, start with music theory essentials, move into music theory magic. I would also recommend people get started with FL Studio if they have FL Studio. So it really depends on who you are and where you're starting from, because not everybody uses FL. Okay, then move into the Better Beat Maker program where I show you how to make beats if you're a beat maker. Drum Magic, everything's in order from left to right. So that's how I kind of organized it. But technically, it could be better. And I have to acknowledge that as the business owner. And I have to realize it's either going to cost me $1,000 a month to answer that question, or I could just tell you for free on a YouTube video. And I'd rather tell you for free for now, until it makes sense to have all the extra stuff. It sounds like the sunken place. Hey, friend. Hey, friend. I have something here to offer you. Would you like to join my free mastermind? I'll show you how to mix your vocals. You can't see my face because I'm reading from a script. Or this may be AI vocals. You never know. Maybe I got lazy and forgot to do the sales pitch at the end of the video. So now I'm having my AI read it off as if it's human. But you will never know because my video's not on. So that's what we get out of those like text video things. They're using the industry in a wrong way. Okay, this might be too far back in time. 10,000 hours has the most views so far. Oh, you were talking about his channel. Thank you for the dedication and years content. What are you really? Okay, so hopefully I answered you guys' questions. All right. Do I use CapCut for my thumbnails? No, for my thumbnails I use Photoshop, but I do use CapCut for video editing. It's just really fast. I don't want to do a bunch of stuff, so I'm not editing pro. I just use CapCut, cut it up, send it out. If you get a chance, can you let us know how we can sell beats on YouTube and what websites are good to sell through? When you say what websites, you're automatically asking the wrong question, because now you're relying on somebody else to do the hard work, and it's your job to do the hard work. It's my opinion. But if you want the easy answer, BeatStars. But again, there's work as an entrepreneur to do. There's other systems. You guys can use Samply. That's another system for selling music with a media player. Samply is another solution there. What was the name of the beat? I don't know what you're talking about. That was a while ago. Bro, I'm making house music from Ireland. Shout out to you. Trying to get better, and I enjoy your videos. Keep it up. Thank you. Komodo. Okay. So it looks like I answered all you guys' questions. Can y'all see the party? Blah, blah. Cool. So if you guys have any more questions, let me see the chat refreshed. I searched up harmonics music theory, and apparently it's pretty advanced. Not, well, I don't want to. Here's what you need to look at. To fill out your track, you need to look at saturation, compression, harmonic content, timbre, we'll call it. If it sounds, look up stereo imaging. Okay, your sound doesn't feel full because, let me just show you in FL. Why am I doing all this talking? This is an example of me getting to the point as opposed to me trying to explain the point. So, going back to that sales letter he had, you could either explain it through text or you could just show somebody. I'd rather just show somebody. So here is Serum. Now your beat metaphorically is probably a sine wave, very thin because it has what's called one frequency called a fundamental frequency. Okay, so I'm giving you an analogy. You have to do more studying on this, and I cover this in a lot of my mixing videos too. So you want to watch my mixing stuff. So here's a sine wave, just a horizontal line. Now usually it doesn't even have what are called harmonics right here. This is a special sine wave from an analog, so it has harmonics. But let's move this to a basic shape. Doesn't have all that. So this is a horizontal line. It's a fundamental frequency, aka a sine wave. Now what happens if we add upper harmonics? Harmonics are multiples of a frequency. So harmonics would be, if this wave is at 100 hertz, a harmonic of this would be 2 times 100. That's the second harmonic. 2 times 100. What's the third harmonic? 3 times 100. 300 hertz. What's the fourth harmonic? 4 times 100. 400. So we're just multiplying that fundamental frequency over time. Now even harmonics, meaning like 2 times 100, 4 times 100, 6 times 100, 8 times 100, 10 times 100. Those are even harmonics. That creates what's called a sawtooth, which is this sound here. Now look at how much information we have in the frequency range. That is way more information than us using a sine wave. So if your beats feel empty, it's because you need to metaphorically add more stuff that turns your sound into more of a sawtooth, metaphorically speaking, not literally speaking. And the way we do that is I could take the sine wave, for example, and add distortion, for example. Now this distortion is going to add harmonics to the sound. We're going to see more of those horizontal lines. So the more I push this distortion, the more horizontal lines I see. So the more saturation you add to your sound, the more horizontal lines you're going to metaphorically add, and that's how you fill out your sound more. Now also sound can be filled out with space as well, left and right space. So you want to look at reverbs, delays, things like that. Because you want to give your sound mid-side information. It's a little too much to explain in this, instance, but that's what you need to focus on. I didn't mean to be vague earlier. I was trying to get through the material. How long have I been streaming, first of all? There's no way I was streaming for 2 hours and a half. There's no way. It does not even feel like that. Holy crap. That is crazy. Really appreciate your teaching this stuff and actually take time for this. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna screenshot that. I'll put you on Instagram. Thank you, Doxo Thor. I'm saying that right. So hopefully Mayo has a better idea of what I mean by harmonics. I think I'll just add more pads and strings and layer it. That's what ChatGPT. I mean, you can do what your heart desires. Go for it. But also you want to look at mid-side information, delays, reverbs, things like that. Yeah, I think a beat store should start with at least 30 beats. If you don't have at least 30 beats, your beat store isn't really open yet. Lifetime member here won't change that for the world. Dope. Thank you for being a lifetime member. For the member who asked why their music sounds like something is missing, busy words. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna screenshot both of these. Yeah, I just couldn't answer it deeply at the time because I thought it would take 20 minutes, but it was actually easier to answer than I thought. For the member who asked why their music sounds like something is missing, Busy's membership covers all of that, and thoroughly you get much more than you pay for. Such a bargain. Thank you. I'm going to post that on Instagram tonight, 4 a.m. I'm going to post it up. Serum is fire. Deadmau5 uses it a lot besides analog modulation. Why did you decide back then to get into music? What was your drive? I found myself always coming back to my YouTube channel. It all started when I was just trying to help a friend of mine. His name was Chi Chi Beats, and I was just trying to help him with. Let me see if I even have that video. I might have deleted it because I deleted a lot of my YouTube videos, my old stuff, but hopefully I can find it. Let me see if I even have it. Let's see, content. All right, so Chi Chi, what was that thing called? It was called like Dallas Boogie or something. Let me type in Boogie. I might have deleted it, but it was a long time ago. It was a video about, he had a question in the Facebook group. We were all trying to learn how to sell beats, and we were all in the Facebook group. And I made a video about, he asked like how to make Dallas Boogie or something like that, a Dallas Boogie synth. So I was like, okay, I want to help him. So I went out, I listened to the music, and I knew a little sound design at the time. So I made a video, and because the only way you can explain it is to do it in video. So I did it through video, shared it to him on Facebook. Then I found out that when my YouTube video is public, that helped more people. And I was like, why am I stuck in this little Facebook group? Why don't I just help more people? And I just kept doing that for a while. And my YouTube got monetized after however long, I don't remember. And it was kind of helping pay the bills during college. You know, every now and again, like every 3 months I would get paid. I would have to wait for my money to go above $100 to get paid out. That could easily take 3 months on YouTube at that time. So, I was just kind of like waiting on that to come through every 3 months or whatever. It was cool because I was in school at the time, so I wasn't like heavily focused on YouTube. It was just like a side thing. And then over time, after school, I had plenty more time to focus on YouTube. And then when I focused all in on it, that's when I started to see results. And I just grew to like it because I already liked music production. So that was like natural for me. I always found myself like before a test, I would always like pull up FL Studio. Even though I should have been studying, I would always pull up FL and start making beats. So it always was my go-to thing. But I never thought to like build anything around it. So that's, it took a long time to build something around it, but I've always found myself coming back to it during Christmas breaks, summer breaks, before a test even. Trying to find that video about, I think it's so old that it's not on here. Yeah, but I deleted older videos because they were just so bad. I was like, I don't want to see these videos ever again. But yeah. So yeah, I had to teach myself really. A lot I had to teach myself. All right, cool. Thank you, Ashish, for being a lifetime member. Thank you. All right, so I think you guys got enough marketing for today. Why did you? Okay, cool. Boom. So we are out of here. Good stuff. How long you been in the game for? On YouTube, I'd say since 20. Let me see. Let me go back. Hold on. About 10 years. 10 years on YouTube. One of my first, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. My 8th video has 1 million views. Now this is over time. Okay, this is not right away, but my 8th video that I've ever created. Now again, I deleted maybe 50 videos, so let's say 58th. But it didn't take too many videos to actually get 1 million. Now at the time, it did not have 1 million views. It might have had like 1,000, but it took 10 years and now it has 1 million views. So it doesn't take a lot to really grow. Now YouTube is changing though, so that's why I talked about all the stuff I talked about earlier, like hop into shorts. You guys are probably not leveraging YouTube shorts right now. All right guys, it's been way too long. I didn't realize it was in 2 hours and a half, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up unless you guys have a question on your mind. I appreciate y'all for being steady and looking at those ads. I forgot to turn those off. All right y'all, peace.